Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a Pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the bug with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two Dum Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two Dum Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 919 of the Two Dum Yinzers. I want to say to everybody this morning or this afternoon, wherever you may be, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Oh, there he is. There you go. That's better.
You know,
Good
new
afternoon.
computer and same issues.
You're all set up. You got your new computer?
Yeah, I got the new computer. We'll see how she runs.
All right. That's a step in the right direction. I like that. Good afternoon. Good morning, wherever you may be. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, guys. It's a milestone, I guess, a step along the way, I guess you might call it, guys, because we were 1 week out from the free agency season, Mike, and then we were 50 days.
Collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go.
And we're 50 days away from the draft. 1 week from free agency, 50 days from the draft, Mike. So we're kind of at at a point right now to where it's all getting it's in sight. It's all in reach, and we're getting there slowly but surely. And of course, Monday officially kind of kicks off free agency in a sense with the tampering day. So a lot of things to get into, Mike. People are looking like they're becoming more available. People are being released by their teams. There's some Steelers scoop on things that might be happening with us and our players. Just some hints and signs, like when Miles Killebrew sold his house and moved to Tampa Bay. That could be a sign. Some more signs popping up along the way. We'll get into all that and so much more. But I want to talk about, just before we get started, how much of a mental midget that Derpy is. Our Derpy, of course, here on the show, he gets in the group chat and he's going on and on and on about Kyler Murray, on and on and on about him. And I got to be honest with you, didn't we just complain about a midget, Mike, for a whole season when Russell Wilson was here? We said we got to get rid of this midget. This guy cannot see over the line. Then there's Derpy. There's Derpy on his midget kick, Mike.
The man is a midget, 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 midget.
My man is a midget, Mike. Kyler Murray. And again, Derpy's going on and on and on. And we need him. We need him. He's only going to be $1.3 million. Why not go get him? He's this, that. He's going on about Kyler Murray. And this is what he does about every single person that ever becomes available, that he see just being on the Steelers. He does this with literally every player, Mike. And it doesn't matter how tall they are. He could be a tall midget.
I am a very tall midget.
Derpy wants him because, and this is why Mike, he is a mental midget. And so I write back, I write to him, I was like, isn't Murray a midget, Derpy? And he hearts it. So I don't know what his deal is, Mike. He goes on and on and on about it. He wants him, he's got to have him. And then I say, isn't he a midget? Then he hearts it, and we just go on with our day. But this is what he does. But guys are becoming available, Mike. People are being released from their teams. We're going to get into all that. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say that is typical Derpy, but I was kind of feeding into it with Derpy too, because I was getting in on the I want to see this little guy run around with his big old head and like his hips swaying like Patrick Mahomes, running like a toddler with a diaper full. I kind of want to see that just for the fun, for the shits and the gigs.
I'm not interested in being friends with midgets. Midgets piss me off.
So there you go, guys. Kyler Murray is available. Again, in my opinion, Mike, there's always been signs with him that I didn't love. Again, he was always known as being very short. Not many quarterbacks in the NFL are 6 foot or shorter. He falls in that category. And again, we complained endlessly when Russell Wilson was here and he couldn't see over the offensive line. And Russell Wilson has just been a little bit more successful throughout his career. Makes you kind of question things like this. But of course, Kyler Murray, Mike, other names that are becoming available as they are being released or shopped around. Some former Pittsburgh Steelers, Minka Fitzpatrick, who can't come back on a trade, but he can come back in other ways. So he's out there. Also, Javon Hargraves, also a former Steeler. He is out there. And other players as well, Mike, being released and available in the market. So much going on. And again, this is only Wednesday prior to free agency week. Again, free agency tampering period kicks off on Monday at noon. And then again on Wednesday, it officially kicks off with the new NFL year at 4 o'clock. That's on Wednesday. So a lot of stuff coming on. We guys are just 50 days away from the big draft here in Pittsburgh. I got scoop on that here in a minute, guys. But I can't go any further, Mike, without starting my Wednesday off like this.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
It's hump day, everybody. Welcome back to the show. That's right. It's the Two Dum Yinzers, episode 919. Just 81 shows away from the big 1,000. We're super excited here at the show. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to see everybody. And I'm going to get on the board bright and early today so I don't get too far behind. It's again, here we are. We're just about to head right into the store, Mike. Just a few days from tampering period, 1 week from the free agency official kickoff, and again, 50 days from the draft. I'm going to grab a couple messages, and I do have a message to put out to people that might be interested in coming to the draft or going to the draft. So we're going to get into that here real soon. Let's do get on the board. Vegas all the way from Vegas. What's going on with you? He says, what's good, fellas? Always great seeing Vegas on the terrible board, my man. RB says no to Minka. We were just saying we're too old to say. I thought of that too. Because if you bring Minka back, you're going to put, I mean, Jalen Ramsey's going to be there, I would suppose, and Deshaun Elliott. And again, that's already an older safety room. And then what would you do with Jalen Ramsey? You'd probably bounce him back out to a corner position. And again, it doesn't seem wise. I mean, it sounds nice. But at the end of the day, you're just adding another older player back into that secondary, Mike. And again, how old do you want to be in your secondary? Again, having a big secondary in a passing league is a big thing. But sometimes the names just doesn't equal what you're looking for because, again, these names are nice. Yeah, I'd love to have Minka. I'd love to have Ramsey and Deshaun Elliott. But at the end of the day, we have to recognize that these guys aren't kids anymore. They are getting older, and it's just slowing the secondary down ultimately. And again, Mike, is Minka Fitzpatrick a pipe dream? Of course, we know that we can't get him back in trade, at least for another year or two. Yeah. But there are ways to get him back now. Is any possible way that he ends up in Pittsburgh?
The only way would be if he's released, obviously. But I don't know if he would want to come back. you heard all the talk about when he was here and before he left of like guys doing their own things. There a lot of stuff said, you know, masked about who they were trying to talk about. And then like blown coverages in the secondary, and Minka was always involved in those blown coverages. I just don't see him coming back here. I hope he doesn't come back here after his first year or two. I was not impressed with anything Minka Fitzpatrick did. I was a big fan of him when he first got here, but then after that, he really fizzled out here in Pittsburgh. So I'm on the no to Minka Fitzpatrick. I think I'm just not big on Minka Fitzpatrick. We already have a Minka Fitzpatrick, and we have Jalen Ramsey.
All right, let's continue on the board. Vegas says, hell no to the midget. I don't want no midgets. No, I don't want no midgets. No, I don't want none of their time. No, I don't want no midgets. Of course, referring to the TLC song No Scrubs. I don't know if anybody picked that up. Just Learning, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the Just Learning on the terrible board. He says Kyler Murray or JJ McCarthy. Interesting on this JJ McCarthy. I've seen this name popping up on the board here early. We'll get into that here in a little bit more. Just shortly, here is Vegas. He says neither of those guys. Just Learning says JJ McCarthy might be good and cheap, but is there a reason that he's cheap? Get to that in just a second. RB says this as well. Good afternoon to you, RB. Nice seeing you, brother. Always great seeing the great RB on the terrible board. He says Derpy likes guys who make him feel like a man. Murray checks out every year when Call of Duty Battlefield comes out. And he was another one. Didn't he have issues? Like, wasn't he playing video games instead of showing up or being late because he stayed up all night playing video games? Or
like the big rumor that were with him. He can rip the football. He was like one of the main reasons why they won any games when he was down there. I'd take Kyler Murray from like 5 years ago, but not now with his knees and ankles all banged up. So I'm out on Kyler.
I know Kyler Murray for you, Mike. Let's move on to Vegas. He says I don't want Call of Duty Kyler. I don't want Call of Duty Kyler. Kyler, he says. I do want to say good afternoon, good morning to Isaiah. Coach, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the coach on the board. He says Giannis Anchor Hospital nonsense. Aaron Williams, I do want to say welcome, Aaron. He says, what happened to Skyler? Skyler is still around. He's still a free. He's going to be a free agent, and he could very well be doing exactly what he did last year in preseason. If he's here, we'll certainly get to take a look at him. Hopefully, it doesn't take any time away from Will Howard, as he hasn't got any time on the field yet at all. But Skylar Thompson, I'm sorry, is still in the mix as of right now. Nothing has happened with him. He's still technically on the roster. He's a free agent here in a week. So whether he comes back or whether they just bring in another guy to cycle in and out of that position as they do a lot of the times, I'm not sure. But again, for what he was last year, he played well in preseason, and he managed to get jumped in Ireland. But beyond that, I just don't know if he's going to be any more than that. You know what I mean? Even if Skylar Thompson comes back, probably be just as much involved as he was last year, I'd suspect. Let's do.
Yeah. To me, he's just a backup.
Absolutely. At this point, even if they get into a quarterback competition and it involves Will Howard and maybe even Mason Rudolph, I still don't know how legit a shot that Skylar Thompson would ultimately get, Mike. Again, I think he could outperform both of those guys in preseason, and he would still be the underdog. One guy has all the experience, albeit a backup, and the other guy is the person that some people have a lot of hope for, and Will Howard. So again, if it came down to it, Mike, and there was a competition in preseason or camp, I honestly think that Skylar Thompson would be the odd man out no matter what. I just do. Could you see the Steelers marching out Skylar Thompson to start the season as the quarterback? I can't. I just can't.
I can't either. That'd be a terrible thing to do, to have him anywhere on the active roster.
Yeah.
You can see his stats. He's not an NFL quarterback. Like 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions, a career passer or completion percentage of like 58, 57%. That's a big no thank you right there. I'd rather, risk a Will Howard or, like Mason Rudolph or both of those guys. I would rather have than Skylar Thompson.
Tortilla, what's up, dude? All the way from Sacramento, California. Tortilla Jackson says, I take a chance on him and he can he can see Darnell over the line just fine. Douglas Taylor, I do want to say welcome to Douglas Taylor. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the terrible board. Welcome to the show. Douglas says this, if we can get anyone from the Arizona Cardinals, can we please try to get Marvin Harrison Jr., probably the only person from the Cardinals that has any value to most people. Certainly would be nice if we were able to get him. Welcome, Douglas. Tortilla says this, he doesn't get many passes batted at the line either. He's got a really good arm. His main thing is staying healthy. If you don't have to break the bank, I take him. If he goes down, throw Will in a draft QB 2027. And ultimately, Mike, as more and more I'm reading, that seems like what they're really shooting for is that 2027 quarterback pick. It just does. There's nothing out there that even excites us out here talking about it, let alone you wouldn't think that would excite the Pittsburgh Steelers. At the end of the day, it really seems like they're pushing toward that 2027 draft for the quarterback. So you know what? Build that team around him in this draft. You have 155 picks. You might as well use them to build around. So if you do, Mike, and that's ultimately the goal, as we always say, to have the team, a nice little team around him, as Ben had a nice team around him when he was placed in the position when Tommy Maddox went down years ago. And, you know, it made things a little bit easier on the young quarterback. And that's just the way that it seems like it's playing out this year, Mike. So maybe a 1-year deal with Kyler Murray for $1.3 million. I mean, that's less than what Aaron Rodgers was making here in a 1 year. I guess it's not out of the question when you're talking about it financially. But at the end of the day, Mike, I just don't want no midgets. And I think that Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be able to get you about what he got you last year. And again, Kyler Murray, he played for the Cardinals. And they never really done anything. People say, well, this is the Steelers. Well, you know what? We haven't been that great lately. So, you know, it could be very similar to what the Cardinals have going on with the personnel that they have, just because you're just moving teams don't mean a whole lot. Or Mike, some people use this as I was reading as an example. Could he be more of could he be more of a Darnold or a Baker Mayfield and go somewhere else and really pick up his career as those two gentlemen did when they left their original teams?
I don't think so. Just because of the injury concerns with him, like how much time he has missed in the past couple seasons. Like I said, I'd taken him before all these injuries happened. I thought there was always something there with him. You know, if he was just a little bit taller, I think he'd be a much better quarterback. And like I said earlier, he was their entire offense down there. You know, like their record with him, yes, it was a losing record, but like when in games he did not play, yeah, I think they won like 1 or 2 games or some shit like that. It's a very, very bad down there for when he wasn't in there. So he made a lot happen on that offense. Wasn't a whole lot around him. You know, we are in the era of bridge quarterbacks here in Pittsburgh until we can find someone who could either through the draft or free agency that could be a long-term viable candidate. Yeah. So for me, like Kyler Murray would fall into that role of Aaron Rodgers.
I know
Mitch Trubisky and all like so it's like you're just swapping one out for the other at this point. And if you want to have, like a lot of fans want us to have a bad year to get those better draft picks, Kyler Murray, Will Howard, Mason Rudolph would be your quarterback group potentially, because if he gets hurt or he plays bad, you get to see Will Howard. Or you get Mason Rudolph in there and you get a better pick. If that's what you want, those are the potential outcomes right there with this move.
That's why I like Will Howard the best, because so many things can happen, Mike, if Will Howard becomes the man this year. First of all, you could see if he's good enough.
Yeah.
Perhaps he comes out and he succeeds. And this is like, wow, we don't even have to go after a quarterback because this guy came out and got 9 wins. Or you're going to look at him and you're going to say, okay, we know what the next steps are. You know, he can still continue to progress. But at the end of the day, sometimes you could just know when you see things, if it's going to work, if it's not. So I think it's very vital to get a look at him early this year. The guy's ready to play. He's been chomping at the bit, obviously, to get out there. He had the big injury last year in preseason when he broke his hand on Zach Frazier's ass, and he sat out all season. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see him take a single snap. So ultimately, I'm all on board, because here's what I'm thinking, Mike. Let's say Will Howard does go and he doesn't do that well, and you do fall below the Mason-Dixon line, then you could take advantage of that in the draft. I'm not saying blow the season. I'm saying give the kid a chance that you drafted. The guy just won a national championship 2 years ago. He has FU energy. I want to see this FU energy that everyone's talking about. I want to see this kid play again. Yes, and then people are going to say, well, he was 6th round. And you know what? So was Shedeur Sanders. So was a lot of these other people, guys. You got to give the kid a chance. If you're not going to give him a chance, why did you even draft him? I'm a big proponent, Mike, of getting him playing time this year. And again, if you're going to piss around and rotate these over the hill quarterbacks, you might as well let the kid play to know what the hell you have going on again. And then it answers questions moving down the road. Is next year going to be the big draft? Or this guy, as I said, he could come in and have a Ben Roethlisberger rookie type season and win off a bunch of games. And we're all going to be like, oh, yo, this is our quarterback. And guess what? We got him in the 6th round. We're going to be paying very minimal amount of money to our starting quarterback moving forward for at least a few more years. So again, I think it's very important to get a look at him early, get a look at him often. And I would not rule Will Howard off the table because again, at the end of the day, Mike, if he does well, we'll know what to do next. If he doesn't do well, we'll have an idea of what to do next. And at the end of the day, if it kind of clunks out, it plays in our favor because if he doesn't do great, we drop, we have a little bit worse of a record. And you give him his opportunity, and then now you come out the other end saying, yeah, that didn't go quite as how we would like it. Let's get serious about this draft in 2027 and find one of these kids. But get everybody else ready. Get all those other positions in place, like we always say, Mike, and have a team ready because you just don't know what's going to happen over the next 12 months. But I'm a huge and as you said, we could go out and get any of these guys. We could bring in Malik Willis. We could bring in Anthony Richardson. We could bring in Kyler Murray. We could bring in anybody. But at the end of the day, we have things here that we have to figure out, and it's just going to be another carousel player on this quarterback carousel. If you do bring that person in, what are we trying to win the Super Bowl this year? Let's bring in Kyler Murray. Obviously, that tells me that we're not trying to win a Super Bowl. So why not look at the kid that you drafted? It just doesn't make sense, Mike. I have to see this kid play.
Like I agree, but I don't agree with like the have to see him play because we never say that about any other 5th, 6th, 7th round draft pick if they're not a quarterback.
Well, he is a quarterback, and we need a quarterback. So
we need a well, we also need a left tackle. So we're going to throw a random 7th round left tackle.
Absolutely. You don't think 7th round left tackles are going to play in preseason? Absolutely are.
In preseason,
and I want to see that.
But like regular season, I'm just gonna trot out a 7th round left tackle just to see what he has.
If he's successful,
Garrett.
If he's successful, then you learn a lot about him because you're going to find his weaknesses, you're going to find his strengths. But if he's successful enough to beat everybody else out that you have, it's kind of goes against common sense to not do it.
Like I just want to see him in preseason and run another bridge quarterback back season.
I'm so over the bridge
that's what I want to do. And I think that's what the Steelers want to do. They want
it is literally running in place. Why did we even make any changes? Why didn't we just give Tomlin more money and say, hey, dude, stick around another year. Let's just do the same thing we've been doing the past 10 years, and it's going to yield the same results, and it's going to yield us right around 21 in the draft next year. Why not go with the kid? You drafted him, and if he doesn't stand a chance, why even draft him? Why draft anybody? You got to see this kid play, and again, he could come out and he could wow you. Again, we didn't expect great things from a man named Roethlisberger at one point, Mike. We knew he had potential. He came out of the MAC. Certainly wasn't a top guy that you wanted out of that draft. But at the end of the day, you put him in there and he succeeds. How can you not go with the hot hand? And at the end of the day, that could be what it turns into. But again, yes, preseason is vital.
Oh yeah, preseason vital. Definitely play him. You play him early. You play him often. You play him every single game in the preseason.
I'm playing him against first strings. I'm playing him against second strings. I'm playing him against third strings. I am getting the most thorough look at Will Howard. He's going to be the most worked quarterback in preseason if I was running that squad.
Yeah. I definitely like the first game I'm throwing him out there against third stringers. That second game I'm throwing him out there against the ones.
Absolutely.
And then the second game he's playing the first half of football just to see what I have out of him. And then, because you're going to have a better idea of what he needs to work on in game action, because you can see what he needs to work on in practice. I'm sure the coaches are going to be able to see that right away, but it's different between how you practice and how you play.
Well,
sometimes.
how you practice a lot of time
Yeah,
indicates how you
can't do it
play.
too. But there's like, hey, practice is a different animal. It's a much different when you got
What are
those
you
guys going
suggesting
full speed.
he's not looking well in practice?
Oh, no. I'm saying like
I'm
you
just
can
trying to get
see
where this is coming from. I don't
no. You can see something in practice, like, oh man, this mechanics looks good in this situation. But then you get into an actual live fire situation, the mechanics might break down just because of the speed of the game, and he hasn't seen the NFL speed yet. Because in practice, you're not going full bore. In the game, you are. Then it's like, okay, we know what we have to work on him in practice and work on that. Then as the season progresses, if there's times to get him in at the end of a blowout win or a blowout loss, go ahead and throw him in there so he can get that live action reps
uh
against like true starters or true NFL 53-man caliber players. But I'm all for playing him in the preseason, but I don't want to trot him out there week one as my starter. Now, if the season starts to shit the bed and we're looking rather shaky, like
what are you?
we're
Let me
nothing we
ask you.
can
What is
do.
your goal for this team? Do you want to get to
Uh,
the Super Bowl? The thing is, I just don't think
I,
that any of
I
these things are. Listen, because what you're saying, a lot of people are arguing because it's going to take us out of contention. How much in contention do you really think we are? Let's say we run back Aaron Rodgers, or I think it's going to get us roughly what we had last year, providing what the new coaching staff does. I think it could either drop us a little bit or raise us a little bit. But at the end of the day, I think these will be the perfect opportunities to take a look at guys like this because we don't really have much going on. We are trying to figure out identity, and at the end of the day, if you think that your team has a chance to win the Super Bowl, I would say no. But where we're at, I think that all hands should be on deck, and we should get a look at every possible situation because at the end of the day, the writing's been on the wall. Everything that we've seen, Mike, Wilson and the other guy,
Fields, Rogers.
Fields, Wilson. It's been the same exact story. So if you want to keep running and tracking, this is what we wanted to get away from. You got to take that risk at some point, and getting this kid in there and seeing what he could do. I think would be that risk move. It's not risky at the end of the day. The kid's a football player. He's won a national championship. It isn't like we just picked him off out of nowhere. So I'm very, very much in favor of getting a look at Will Howard because we already have him. And he's cheap right now, and we're not really paying him any money. He got to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. That was a big thing for everybody. He's going to be able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers and learn. Let's see what he learned. He had a whole year, and that's just where I'm coming from.
The owner wants to put out a competitive team to win, and that tells you right there they're not going to hand over the keys to the city to a second-year, sixth-round quarterback that hasn't even taken a preseason snap yet. So that tells me it's going to be Aaron Rodgers,
I think
Kyler
that
Murray,
you have a hostility because
someone
he's
else.
from Ohio State. I truly think this is
No,
what's going on with you because
no,
you did not like him an inch since the day he's got here. It's always been
no.
something with them.
No,
I think
he's a quarterback who needs time. Who can?
How do you know? He might listen. How do you know? You haven't seen what he's improved since he's been here. He might have improved greatly. We just don't know that. How can we keep pushing him back?
I'm not putting all my stock into a sixth-round pick at any position, let alone the quarterback position. And if the owner says, "Hey, I want to go
So
out
we're
there and
putting
compete," I'm not putting my stock in
You
that
put all
guy.
your stock and your money into a guy to get you 7 sacks last year. I don't see what the
I
problem.
didn't
Why
want
this is
that.
so
I didn't want
outside.
that contract either.
Why this is so outside of the box when it comes down to it.
I didn't want that to
I
happen.
think it's necessary. I think if we don't get a look at him, it's going to be a crime. But we do got to move on. Let me make this announcement, Mike. This was as of this morning via Andrew Stocky. If you were heading to the draft, guys, if you're coming from out of town, if you were going to the draft, you're from town. Here in just 50 days from today, fans can now register for free entry to the 2026 NFL Draft in Pittsburgh by downloading the NFL One Pass app or visiting media.nfl.com for registration for the draft, guys. You could do that now. It is available. Get on at, let me see, NFL One app, or again, the media.nfl.com, and you can get on and register for free entry to the draft. So if you are coming in from out of town, maybe look into something like that, because again, it's not going to be cheap once you get down here. So at least get in the draft for free, but everything else I'm sure is going to be crazy here in the Berg. So go check that out. That's via Andrew Stocky about 2 hours ago. Go check it out, everybody. Let's get back on the board. I'm going to go right about here. Or right here. All right. Corey, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Corey. He's Don't Drink That 25. He says, hey, guys, what's up? I hope you're having an awesome Wednesday. I saw an article saying that we were going after a wide receiver, but I never got a chance to see the name. What's the news there? I know that they've been throwing the Brian Thomas Jr. name around pretty heavily lately, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too and reading online is Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. That's all we are hearing right now, and I'm all for it. No, I don't want to give up a first or second for him, but if you can maybe a third and a fourth, 3 and a 5, something like that, I'd be willing to do that because we're going to have 2 extra third-round draft picks. So if you can use one on a guy who was the first-round draft pick 2 years ago, I'd sign me up. I'm willing to take a flyer on him because, yeah, I think you still draft someone else and maybe even look in free agency to round out that room. If you get him, DK Metcalf, a guy in the first or second round, sign me the hell up for it.
What was what was his numbers down in Jacksonville, Mike? Because again, he had a quarterback down there, and he had a team that was getting competitively better. See what his numbers looked like in Jacksonville last year. And I will continue on the messages while you do that. Let me go to Just Learning. He says Fitzpatrick played well. He did play well last year. And the thing is, he's good. He was solid here. He just didn't make those splash plays that we needed him to make during the beginning of his tenure when he was here. I think that's what we were really missing from Minka Fitzpatrick when it came down to the end. And it's something that we kind of got back with Jalen Ramsey. He was able to bring some of those splash plays that Minka Fitzpatrick fell off. And I think ultimately that's what we wanted at safety. But you're right. The thing is, Minka Fitzpatrick is a good football player. He was solid. Was he perfect? No. And at times, did things cost us? Yes. But there was a lot of times that he was right in the right place at the right time, made the play. So again, I don't hate Minka Fitzpatrick, and I acknowledge he did play well last year. He is what he is, and it's going to be interesting because we kind of have that safety field with guys that are like him in his age range, and again, the same skill ability with somebody like Jalen Ramsey. It isn't like it's the cornerback position; it's just kind of depth at that point. And I don't know if Minka Fitzpatrick wants to be here as part of depth either. I'm sure he wants to go somewhere where he could play football, Mike.
Yeah, he's going to want to go be a starter somewhere. Real quick, BTS rookie year, 87 catches, 1,200.
What year is he in right now?
This will be entering year 3.
All right.
And 10 touchdowns that rookie year. Last year, 48 catches, 770 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Yeah, so it went down. His catch percentage his rookie year was he caught 65% of his catchable balls. This year it was like 52%. So it's he's got a case of the dropsies. That's why
we don't need wide receiver 2 having a case of the dropsies because wide receiver 1 has a case of the dropsies.
I know, right? Hey, it's like I said yesterday, when a negative times a negative equals a positive. We will be fine with it.
Let me give you no money with my right hand and no money with my left hand and see how much money you have.
Hey, I said negatives here. We're talking about math.
Let me give you 2 of my bills and see how much money you have in your hand at the end of it. But I point taken. Let's jump back on the board. Mark Malone, what's up? Always great seeing the great Mark Malone on the terrible board. He says that Tomlin tainted him, man. There's that taint again, Mike. Just Learning says, remember our defensive coordinator might not put Fitzpatrick in the best position. Vegas says, do you guys like the quarterback Green, Mike Green? Who am I?
Oh my God, Green. Is that the guy out of Arkansas?
I'm not sure. I have to look at that, Vegas. I am not sure about Green. Tortilla says Rodgers threw behind the line of scrimmage 30% of the time, threw less than 9 yards 60% of the time. Go get Murray. Douglas says this. What about their tight end McBride, Mike?
No, we got Patty Fry in Darnell, Washington. We don't need any more tight ends, and we're not getting rid of Patty Fry.
Yeah, we have an abundance of tight ends. I think that Jonnu Smith will be gone sooner than later, Mike. But even so, you still do have Darnell Washington. You have Pat Freiermuth. It's in a decent situation. Again, just what was just said on the board. Aaron Rodgers threw most of his passes behind the line. I don't think that it doesn't translate well for receivers, for tight ends down the field and things like this. Nobody really had a great season, Mike, when it came down to it, unless your name was Kenneth Gainwell when you were behind the line of scrimmage catching the football. But at the end of the day, I just don't think I think this is the year. This is the year that you have to experiment a little bit, and if we fall a little bit, that should be fine. Learn a little bit of something about ourselves. Again, you learn more when you lose. You truly, honestly do. I'm not saying throw the season. I'm just saying let's go out there and try different things, because I don't know how many people expect us to be playing in February next year. I think that we're still quite a few steps away from that. And why wouldn't this be a time to experiment with different ideas and different things? Because again, we've seen how the process that we've been going has been working for us. We haven't made a step forward. We haven't made a step backward. It has been the exact same for years and years and years. So you either take the risk and have the risk of falling, or you know what, there's a reward as well that might very well possibly be it. Or we could get one of these safe, older, veteran quarterbacks and finish with roughly 9-8 or 10-7 season. One more year.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what we want? Are we just happy with riding the fence here until we figure out what's going on? Can we do this for the next 5 years? And one other thing I do want to say, Mike, you know, we had the midget, we had Russell Wilson, we also had Kenny Pickett's little hands. I mean, do we want another person of small proportion being under center? I just, Mike, again, I just don't. We've been through this in a sense. Let's try something different, in my opinion. And again, I got to take a look at things, and I got to see Will Howard play. But at the end of the day, I don't know. But and again, it just depends on what your expectations are for the team, because Kyler Murray could come here and do well, and they could get probably 9-8, and we could kind of be in the same spot that we are. And again, maybe people are just getting comfortable with that.
And that's what the owner wants. The owner wants to be competitive, so that's what it's going to be, man. And me as a fan,
I don't know if that's what that translates into, but that's certainly the words he used. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, like I'm, you know, me as a fan, I want to get the best team out there possible every year to win the most amount of games I can. So, but I also do want to see, like, you know, players, do they have what it takes or not? So I'm, you know, kind of like stuck in that middle ground of like, I want to win as many games as I can every year, but at the same time, if there's someone that intrigues me, I want to see them out there. So I see where a lot of people who want to see Will Howard out there starting. I get where you're coming.
Let me talk a little.
Like I really do. I just don't know if I can get myself on board for, you know, not trying to win as many games as we can.
But you're missing a big thing. What if he does well? I mean, you're obviously obviously projecting that he's not going to play well enough, when that's a possibility. There's also another possibility that he does play well. And also another thing with taking the risk this season, Mike, I don't want to throw the season, but if you do fall below the Mason-Dixon line, it would certainly be beneficial this particular year. Look how this plays out for you. You try Will Howard. He doesn't play as well as you want. He doesn't develop. He's not as far as you want. And we lose a few extra games. Now, two things just happened. You learned that he wasn't going to be the guy. So bang, that's taken care of. Two, now you drop a little bit. Your positioning is a little bit better for these the big draft next year with all these quarterbacks, Mike, guys that went back to school that are coming out next year. You're going to have a better position to at least grab one of X amount of players that you may have your eyes on. So for that, Mike, those reasons, this is the biggest transition year that I could even think that would be for the Pittsburgh Steelers that they could take advantage of. Not often are we between coaches. I don't think the expectations are certainly high, because we got the older coach left, the new guy came in, and people have expectations. But at the end of the day, there's wiggle room and change. Again, Mike Vrabel comes to town. This New England Patriots team has 4 wins last season. They make it to the Super Bowl. We can't be afraid to fall a little bit, Mike. And again, it may benefit us in the long run. Come next April, when we might have our eyes on Arch Manning or Chambliss or whoever it is we might like next year. So, in my opinion, that's we have to give this guy a chance. It's going to open so many doors, Mike, or it's going to answer questions one way or the other. I'm down.
Yeah, it's record wise, it would be could be a losing season, but it could be a win-win situation, because like you just said, you're finding out if this kid has it or not. And hey, guess what? We're in a better position. And guess what? You have a really good draft this year and a good free agency class. You're set up to have a good team. We won't be in that forever cycle of drafting in the top 10, drafting in the top 5 because the team sucks. We tore it down trying to get a quarterback and build up. We already have a damn good foundation built. We've been adding to it for years now. And then if you do throw this kid out there and it doesn't work out, it might actually be the best thing for this franchise. But I don't know if the owner wants to do that, and that's the big thing. For my eyes and my thought process on the show when we talk about this stuff, it's like filtering it through what they want to do, trying to put myself in their situation or in their shoes, and that's where my thought process comes from. Is like that's why I don't think they're gonna let this kid go out there and do anything until they deem him ready.
I also think as well, Mike, maybe if him and Coach McCarthy they create a relationship with one another, and he kind of becomes one of Coach McCarthy's favorites. And I know that McCarthy's excited to work with him, and I know that and vice versa. And of course, Will has been putting in a lot of work this offseason. I just seen he was working with the kid from Indiana. And,
Excuse me.
So at the end of the day, it's going to be very interesting to see. Mike, we have a lot of guys to talk about, a lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of messages. I'm going to jump back on the board. Let's see what everybody is saying. I do want to say everybody welcome.
Real quick. You're going to see there some later on. Sumper says we have 2 streams running in the same format. I don't know what the hell happened. It's looking like YouTube again is doing YouTube shit,
and it screwed up the other one yesterday, right?
Yeah. So I am aware of it. We see everyone's chat on our. I can't take on $1 billion corporation.
I mean,
I can fight a little fight.
Oh, can you fight the little fight and stop that stream from running alongside this stream?
I'm afraid if I do, like everyone will be kicked out and they won't know how to get back into the stream and stuff. Like that's my big worry. I thought about doing that. I don't want to kick one off, and everyone's like, "God, why'd you kick me off?"
Let's not run the vertical tomorrow.
I didn't. I ran just.
But you still have 2 playing.
But at I didn't. I just selected one, and then YouTube's doing some YouTube shit to us. Yeah, I chose just our normal format. I was want to get back to that, and Somber's like, "Let me know." I'm like, I went and checked. I'm like, "Yeah, there is," and it's split. Everyone's like in halves in one room, halves in another. Because I was just going to delete whichever one had like 4 people in it, but no, everyone's in both rooms. So I apologize, everyone. I have no idea what's happening. Thank you, Still Loyal. I really do think it is YouTube because I didn't fucking touch anything.
All right. Well, it's boring me. Let's move on. Let's get back on the board.
Once it became not my fault, it bored you.
Yeah, I didn't have anybody else to yell at. Let's get back on the board, Mike. I'm going to go right here to where Vegas says this. I don't want anyone that needed a film study clause put in his contract. F that.
Yeah.
Just learning says Rodgers is going to be on Pat McAfee today.
Oh, God.
Tortilla says I didn't want to trade for his contract, but if we're paying him a Fields-like contract, that's super hot fire. Again, are we talking about Murray? Because what Derpy kept saying this morning was would be about a 1.3 million.
Yeah, it was the Russell Wilson contract was the comparison, not the Fields one. They pulled a U, Ryan. They got the 2 quarterbacks confused.
Now, how much did Aaron Rodgers make last year? He was like
13.
13. So I mean, isn't this pretty? For the Steelers, wouldn't this be pretty attractive, Mike, if they see a quarterback?
This is right up Rudy's alley.
That's what I'm saying. This seems very
like 1.9 million.
Let me grab that from my back pocket. Let's get you in here.
Exactly. And then we save at least 12 million because Rodgers is probably going to want to raise.
Yeah, you never know. Again, we don't know what's being said. We know that a lot of people in the Steelers organization have been in consistent communications with Aaron Rodgers, so they may know a lot more than we do at this point. Again, Mike, coming up Monday is the tampering period at noon. Wednesday at 4:00, the free agency season and the new NFL year starts. That is Wednesday at noon, Mike. And again, we are 50 days away from the draft as we speak. Let me jump back on the board. Somber, he says, "Yo, what's the word? Is it the bird?" That's right, man. It's always the bird, brother. Nice seeing you, Somber, as always, my man. Hope things are going well for you, dude. Vegas says Murray is not good. He does not play on schedule. No, thank you very much on him. Kenneth, what's up, dude? Always great seeing the great Kenneth Jones on the terrible board. Kenneth Jones in the house, everybody. Just learning says Arizona, most of the off the contact kiddo like Russell, Arizona pay most of off the contact kiddo like Russell a couple million. Aaron Williams, I want to say what's up to Aaron Williams on the terrible board. He says, I don't see Mason Rudolph being the answer. I don't either. I don't see him being the answer for anything except for being basically what he is. I think he's perfected his craft. I think that he's a backup quarterback. And as long as he acknowledges it, he still plays with the ones sometimes. He still practices with the ones. But you know what? I think he's a serviceable backup, Mike. And the one opportunity he had to start this year, of course, we lost the game to a pretty good Chicago Bears team ultimately. But he's good at what he is. He's a backup. If you need him in a pinch, he could come in, not make mistakes. Still kind of has the deer in the headlight look in his eyes, even at this point in his career, sometimes back there. But at the end of the day, Mike, for what he is, I think he might have perfected his craft. This should be where he sticks around through his career, in my opinion. He's going to be a backup. You went to Tennessee. Nothing great happened for him down there. He came back into the exact same position he was. This is how I pretty much see Mason Rudolph's career through the duration.
Yeah, Charlie Batch 2.0.
Charlie, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, hell, I'd rather Colt McCoy and the other 57 McCoys that were running around the NFL in that era. They were all perfectly backup quarterbacks. That's all Mason Rudolph is. He's never going to be a starter. We know that, but in a pinch, I'd rather have him than Skylar fucking Thompson.
For a couple of reasons, because he's been with the team for a million years. There's nothing inside the playbooks or the system or the organization that this guy doesn't know. For two, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Yes, he goes out there and throws an interception right off the cut in the Chicago game. But at the end of the day, a lot of backup quarterbacks are going to have problems.
You know how many starting quarterbacks I've seen do that?
And the thing is, too, Mike, we're familiar with him, and he's familiar with the system. And again, that kind of goes a long way. You could always just kind of trot him out there as your backup, and you feel safe with that because he is a safe net, and it's going to ultimately we know what's going to happen if he does get in there. I think we like him for that reason. And again, I think he perfected his craft, Mike, and there's no shame. No. Some people were just backup quarterbacks. And I got to be honest with you. If you were a backup quarterback, you achieved something in your life, because there's a lot of people that would love to be in the league that aren't in the league, that are bagging groceries or whatever else. You got to give respect to guys like him, Mike. I think he's good at what he does, and that's going to be what he is.
Yeah, he's in the puts him in the top 0.2% of football players.
Right.
I don't know. Real quick, I want to jump ahead Somber's comics. It fits perfectly.
Oh, Derpy with this. You've been jumping ahead like Derpy all afternoon. What are you doing?
Will Howard is nothing more than Mason's replacement. Fine. I'm sick of Mason's face. I think that's a huge sentiment of Steeler fans.
His face is so stupid.
They're just tired of looking at him. I get it. It's just the fatigue of dealing with the same thing over and over, and he's the face of it.
Yes, absolutely. He has a hideous face. Let's do move one. Yinzer Joe, what's up, brother? Always great seeing the great Yinzer Joe on the board. He says, "What's up, Yinzer? Nice seeing you, dude. Always great seeing the great Yinzer Joe from Ohio." Tortilla says this: unless he wants Meyer guaranteed money on a multi-year contract, do you think he wants to screw the Cardinals more than getting more money guaranteed? I don't know. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. I've heard things over the years. I heard he's a midget. I heard that he plays a lot of video games, and it somehow affected his professional life, Call of Duty specifically. But these are just things that I know generally about Kyler Murray. Mike, I don't know a lot about him. I know that the Cardinals are never good. I know that he's the quarterback. He could have probably been better if he played somewhere else. But he's been in the league for quite a few years now. I'm not running around singing the praises as Derpy is this morning, Mike. As I said, right off the cut this morning, Derpy's already on our group chat.
Blowing it up.
We got to get him. We got to get Murray. I don't know what we could do. Again, yes, $1.3 million for a season is very attractive, and could certainly be the play at the end of the day, Mike. But I teach me something. Teach me something about Kyler Murray.
I know. Like I said, I want Kyler Murray of a handful of years ago. I thought he would have been a fun quarterback to have on this team, but not now. No, he's too injury prone. Too many lapses now at this point in his career. Seems like a good dude. Anything I've seen from him just out and about social media, just like people don't realize he's a pro and he doesn't have that arrogance about him. So he seems like a good dude, like someone that you'd wish well for, but not here in the black and gold. Now, if I want to troll Steeler fans, hell yeah, sign me up for Kyler Murray.
So what you're saying is when we get down to Tater Tot, he's going to give us some shit here on the board about Kyler Murray, is what you're suggesting.
Who probably, but he would be better than any quarterback on the Browns roster.
I know. I was just thinking that.
Shit, man. Okay, sign me up for for Kyler Murray compared to what the shit show they have going on up there.
Let me work my way to him. Let's get there. Let's start with Vegas right here. He says, I don't care. He could be free. I don't want to see him in a Steeler uniform, even on Halloween. Even on Halloween. Somber says, I'd take Ty Simpson over Murray, and I hate Simpson. All right. So I'm getting the vibe, though. I'm kind of getting the vibe on what people think about Kyler Murray.
It just makes me want Mason more.
Let's go to Douglas. Douglas, new on the board today. He says this. I've been a fan for a while. Been here for a bit. My name is too common to remember. Douglas, I certainly remember you, man. I will remember you moving forward now that you said that.
How can you not remember DT? The DDT.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake Roberts. That's his new name. His new name is now the Snake.
Listen, I promise
just worked out a nickname.
I promise you I'm going to remember Douglas Taylor, but it's not going to be because of what you just said. I promise you.
It's been a long day for me. So
I do want to say, though,
I'm slap happy.
Welcome, Doug. Glad to have you here, brother. Welcome to the show, my man. Vegas says, Pittsburgh, the city of bridge quarterbacks. I like it. Vegas, that's an early entry for the game ball for the day. That's a good one. Pittsburgh, the city of bridge quarterbacks. Steel Loyal says, even on Halloween. That was good. I like that as well. Scoot up here a little bit. So, just learning says this. Rodgers, I still awesome. Just didn't have the right personnel around him in the door. You know what? And that's one thing that we don't know. He went to the Jets, and they stunk, and he did okay, which he did here. And we stunk, and he did okay. But it's been consistent. And again, he's going to be 43 during the course of this football season. Unless Mike McCarthy comes along and finds this fountain of youth and can make Aaron Rodgers, play well, better than he did last year. The thing is, he's going to have to play better than he did last year. And he had a pretty decent season for what it was. Maybe with some more weapons around him, as is being said on the board here, as Just Learning is saying. Maybe get another receiver in place. Can this be an 11-win team next year, Mike, with a chance of winning in January? I think that's going to be roughly your ceiling. I think with bringing Aaron Rodgers back, maybe best case scenario, they end up winning an extra game, one of them games that they blew last year or got their asses whooped. Maybe with some other weapons on our team, we could get one of those wins back. I'm thinking 11 is the ceiling, and possibly staying in the game at least in a January game, like opposed to getting blown out like they have for the past 10 years. I think. But at the end of the day, you're playing with house money at this point, Mike, because we know that we're probably more than likely high percent not going to be playing in February. So now, in other words, you could take other chances that you normally wouldn't take since you're not playing with your own money in a sense. If you understood that.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So more or less, we're gonna have a carbon copy of last season with just a potential of not getting blown out in the playoffs.
Well, in the way I look at things, Mike, I've said since day one, Mike McCarthy is similar to Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. I said these were similar kind of coaches. The league kind of passed them by. So with that theory, you have Mike Tomlin coming back with an offensive mind is basically the way that I'm looking at this coaching system, unless I'm convinced otherwise. Unless something happens that convinces me that he's not going to be a passed-by coach that's basically kind of just running on the fumes that he's been running on as Coach Tomlin, as Coach Harbaugh did. As I said, add a couple weapons to this team on offense. Listen, they're not going to have a lot of weapons. You have a gazillion dollars tied up in your defense. You're going to get weapons. And like I said, you just have to see how that plays out, Mike. And I don't know. I think that equals about 10 wins. In my opinion, I think the best that you could hope for is 11.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. If he comes back and how the roster is constructed, I have a feeling it's on offense. It's gonna be more or less the same type of players or the same type of scoring offense that we have. I think the defense might be a little bit better with Graham at D coordinator instead of Terrell Austin. So yeah, right. I just, with the potential moves that we were probably going to make, we're going to be 10-7, 9-8, 10-7, and maybe 11-6.
That's what I'm saying.
With a close loss in the first round.
I'm saying we're anywhere between 8 and 11 wins this year. It could really go to either end of the spectrum, in my opinion, Mike. It could go to 8, it could go to 11, but I don't think it's going to be anything greater than that.
Yeah, and I think 8 is the absolute bottom. Like
I think 7 gets a better draft pick. So I don't know.
Yeah, 8 and 9. That's the.
What's the difference if this team gets 8 wins and 7 wins? Nothing. I move on with my life, and we get a better quarterback next year. So at the end of the day,
we pick 15th instead of 21st. You know, we're a little.
It isn't like people aren't making fun of us anyway. If we fall below 500, I mean, what are we going to say? Oh my God, we're below 500. Don't make fun of me. You see what I'm saying? It's we're kind of in a position like we need to take some risks, and maybe it'll happen again with the change. Let's move on up here to Somber. Somber says, but like I said yesterday, Murray will be injured by week 4. Howard to the moon. Still Loyal says, we do love our bridges in Pittsburgh. We sure do. More than anywhere else in the
more
world.
Bridges than any city in the world.
And more bridge quarterbacks than any city in the world. Yinzer Joe says only 5 to 8 mobile quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl. There have been over 50 traditional pocket passing quarterbacks that won it too. I don't believe in Murray. It's and the thing is, I just don't. It's all about what next year means to you. Is it technically a rebuild in a way? Is it technically a legitimate shot to win in January? Is it? Do you believe this team has a chance in February to get the? You know, it really comes down to what you feel personally on how this quarterback situation gets to go, because some people love the idea of Kyler Murray. And another thing about Kyler, he's going to put asses in seats. People are going to want to come see what he has as well, Mike, at the stadium. So again, it all at this point with these quarterbacks and people's opinions, it all comes down to how you feel this is going to go. I think less the better, because if let's just say we do fall below that line, and it moves us up a couple picks, gets us in the mid-teens, even in the low teens. I mean, we're sitting pretty looking at all these quarterbacks coming out of school next year. So at the end of the day, we won't be crying when April comes around. Yes, we're going to feel shitty in January or December if, again, we finish a game or two lower than we have. But this time next year, we're sitting there smiling because we might be able to get that quarterback that can change this franchise for the next 2 decades.
Yeah, and that's why this college football season was really shitty, and the lack of development from any of these quarterbacks, it was shitty. It was even shittier because this was the year we were going to get the guy, because we have all these draft picks. We were stockpiling it, and it didn't pan out. So it kind of sucks. Like next year might be the year of the quarterbacks, and we don't have that kind of draft capital. So I'm interested to see, will we do a bunch of trade out of this year for some of these 3rd round picks, trade down from the 1st round, gain a pick next year in the draft to move up again, or use these picks to move up in the draft, stockpile better talent so we have guys in place. This is going to be very, very interesting. The more you think about this draft, the number of scenarios that the Steelers can pull off, it keeps growing and growing by what they want to do. I just right now I'm at a loss because I don't know what they're going to do. That's why I can't wait for free agency to get here to start painting a clearer picture of their intentions for this draft.
And again, we won't know that until next week, till free agency starts, and may not a week beyond that. Who knows? Who knows how that's going to play out? Let's jump back on the board. Kenneth says, I'm with you, Ryan. Also, Corey at Don't Drink That says, well, Howard just sounds like a Super Bowl champion name to me. Mark Malone says he'll play in absolutely, and I can't wait. Everyone kind of gives me this funny eye when I say I can always just see him play in preseason, but I just think that's so necessary. We have to see this kid play. We have to.
Yeah, like preseason, because that's where you want to see everyone play. Is preseason, whether they have an inkling of NFL talent or not.
Or they could have plenty of NFL talent.
Yeah.
You know
what I meant. Like NFL
I don't, because you're the table was leaning one way with that conversation with you. So I'm trying to.
I hope he pans out. I really do. Once they get into the pros, I don't care where you went to college. When you're in college, that's a different story.
Yes, you do.
When we drafted Cam Hayward,
I didn't know you, Mike. We were kids. We were kids when they drafted Cam Hayward.
I was a goddamn infant.
Somber says, in all fairness, Murray did win a playoff game. Still don't want him. Remember this too, guys. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Steelers won the same amount of playoff games in the same amount of time. What was it, over the last 14 years, 15, whatever it is?
Years,
the Steelers and the Pirates have the same amount of postseason wins. I just want to Throw that out there. Let's go to Mark Maloney. He says, still need to draft Beck Robertson or Aller. Yeah, you certainly haven't changed your tune on that, Mark. Don't drink that. Corey says, I see what Mike is saying under normal circumstances, but we're in a rebuild mode. So this is Mike's argument is going to be the owner says we're not in a rebuild. That's going to be the argument, though. And he follows it up by saying, time to give Will Howard a shot. It's not like we're on the brink. Here's the thing. I don't think that the coach is going to, the owner's going to complain if things are successful. I mean, if things don't quite go the way he wants. And that's why, again, I want to see how much leverage and how much pull that the coach does have. There was a lot of speculation. Tomlin had his hand in this, had his hand in that, had his hand in this. Now we're going to be able to see. Again, let's see how much rope he gives McCarthy, and I want to see how this is ran. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of things to learn about the Steelers this year, guys. Just Learning says this: we are not doing the same. We have a new regime. Mark Malone says, I like the look in Beck's sloth eye. Of course, Carson Beck is who he's referring to, who's been in many national championships. I got to be honest with you. So we'll see about that.
Danny Warfel won a Heisman and a national championship.
Tom Brady was a number 6 round draft pick. So again, that's why they play the game. That's why you got to check them out. Vegas says it's expected to win Super Bowls when we drafted Ben. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what? It's funny you say that because when Ben did come, I was very hopeful. I haven't seen any Super Bowls in my life. I was still shitting myself in the late 70s when they were winning. So every quarterback that came along, I hoped that they was going to win. Cordell Stewart, Neil O'Donnell. I was just so hungry for that Super Bowl win.
I was really high on Phillip Rivers in that draft because all I heard about Ben coming out was like, oh, he has the potential to be the best of the three. And at that point, I got burnt by so many players in the Kevin Colbert era of potential, never panning out. So when we drafted him, I'm like, oh, God, really? The guy who has the potential will be able to unlock it. It worked out great for us. So, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong on a guy. I was happy we drafted him, but hated it at the same time, But yeah, I don't know. Another quarterback in the 6th round, potential. Can lightning strike twice? I don't know.
You were all over the Brock Purdy machine when it was.
I was loving me some Brock Purdy when he came in. He was lighting it up,
and you couldn't be drafted any. I mean, he was the last quarter.
But they weren't kicking down the doors and banging the drums and banging the tables for him to start as a 7th.
But you were.
Once he started playing and you saw the talent, but that's not my team, so I don't want to put all the eggs in a 6th, 7th round pick.
Interesting.
Yeah, when it's not my blood pressure on the line, these teams can do whatever the fuck they want. But when is my blood pressure on the line?
You gonna finish the joke or
no? I lost. Okay. I lost. I'm not gonna lie. My ADD took over. I started reading comments.
Tortilla says McCarthy cooked with Cooper Rush. The fuck we talking about? He'd have Murray. I'm sorry, looking like himself again. Tater Tart says so Murray could go from the 31st ranked team to the 32nd ranked team. Poor bastard. Steel Loyal says McCarthy did have Cooper Rush out there looking. He did. I remember liking Cooper Rush for about 5 minutes, Mike. I don't know if you recall.
You were all about Cooper Rush.
I didn't realize that was had McCarthy's signature on it. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but now thinking back, he certainly did play very well. Vegas says this. You take him on your Madden team and tell us how it works out. There you go. Also, Somber says he went 4-4 Rush, right? I don't know if I'd call that cooking, more like microwaving. That's pretty good.
It's some type of cooking. An attempt was made.
Tortilla says I took Will Howard to the Super Bowl in Madden. What you talking about? Tortilla says we lost though. Vegas says Will is a SS on my Madden team.
Safety.
He's our safety. Let's go to Aaron. What's up, dude? Always great seeing the Aaron Jade message. There it is, Mike. You got to get in for the day. There it is.
Did you see the comment online after the show was let's go Bucks or here we go Buckeyes?
I did. I like that.
I was like, this sneaky little bastard. I like it.
I did. How can you miss that? Tortilla says backup quarterback going 500 is maybe light barbecue. Vegas has still many issues for a game that's been around over 25 years. What game is that?
Madden.
Madden's been around for 35 years. Madden 92 was the second game. The first one was 1990. It was actually a couple years prior to that, 89 or 90, and it was in an old cardboard box. It was just John Madden football. Then it came back with 92 and then went and never stopped. So well over 35 years, the John Madden game. Let's go to Somber. You guys have two horizontal. Okay,
we talked about this.
I know we did, but I'm getting more information. I have more ammunition to yell at you now. So let me read what this says.
Hey,
you guys have two horizontal streams running at the side. I know.
Blame that guy. Look, I'm pointing at the sign. We're two dumb Yinzers. This is what happens when we try to do technology and I try to point at stuff, okay?
Two separate chats.
But we're seeing all the comments.
Let's go to Tortilla. It's the worst game I've ever played, and I still buy it every year. Fuck EA Sports.
That is a gamer right there. Yes, I'm in the same boat. There's games I hate. Every time a new one comes out, I buy them.
Aaron Jade says this: unless cut, we cannot get Fitzpatrick back. NFL rules that you can. You're right. We can't trade him. He can't be involved in a trade. But it is they're shopping him around. They are certainly looking around the league to see if they could move him or in some other capacity he could leave the team. They're trying to fix their squad down there in Miami. Whatever they've been doing recently have not been working, Mike. The running game looked good for about 6 minutes last year, and then they came to Pittsburgh when we shut that down.
Yeah, right.
And
we shut that.
They thought, wait a minte, our running game got shut down by the Steelers. We have to figure out what the hell we're doing. If you released we could pick. Yes, that's exactly it. Somber says you guys have two horizontal streams running at the same time. Mike is just thinking, shut up. Why do you keep
you know what?
This?
After my day at work, it's this is so much easier. The problems happening here on the board, I'd rather deal with them.
Are you going to deal with it, or okay? Just let me move on.
I can't deal with it because there's.
What has to happen?
The chat. I know what I have to do to fix it for tomorrow to make it. I know what I got to do, but if I fix it now, half the people. There's two cool rooms going on right now is what it is. If I delete one cool room, those guys got to find their way back in, and I don't want to hurt it for them.
Finding their way back, wouldn't they just push the button on the other?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do that.
Yinzer Joe says Murray should go to Cleveland. Who knows? He might. They're collecting quarterbacks to pay. Even quarterbacks that aren't in Cleveland, they still want to continue to pay quarterbacks. Maybe he could fit right in up there. Vegas says I miss Bill Walsh football from like 40. Yeah, Bill Walsh football was badass, man, on Nintendo.
One, yeah,
absolutely. John, what's up, man? Steeler Freak John says I think Ryan is more disappointed in TJ than Derpy.
Derpy.
Tater says Browns have no interest in Murray. They're ambitious, all right. Let's scoot up here a little bit. Vegas says Intellivision had good football game on their console in like 83. Remember the old games that had like literally three guys and they all moved at the same exact time, and you moved your joystick and they would all move in unison.
So that's how old we are.
Tortillas has signed Murray, trade for BTJ. Sorry, draft Omar Cooper Jr. Vegas says I'd rather have Ann Murray. Somber says Ian Rappaport just retweeted 205 Mr. Rodgers on the McAfee show. Tortilla. PTJ was best with Mac Jones. Mac loves to pick a wide receiver and feed them.
Aaron Rodgers loves to pick a running back and check down to him.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Let's see. Somber says it was Tone Diggs tweet. Yinzer Joe Cleveland has interest in bad players. LOL. Tortilla, BTJ's rookie year was with Mac Jones. Lawrence was hurt. Lawrence and him don't have the same connection. That's unfortunate. I mean, like I said, Jacksonville's moving in the right direction, and
like I said, man, for the price is right, I'm willing to get a chance.
hey, absolutely. Vegas says this. Didn't Jacksonville sign a wide receiver last year too? Didn't they bring Jacoby Myers over?
Yeah, they got Myers in at the trade deadline. That pushed Brian Thompson down even further.
I mean, we were going to go after Jacoby Myers, and we didn't touch him, but now we want the guy that was pushed down because of Jacoby Myers.
Well, if the quarterback doesn't like him.
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Maybe Aaron Rodgers will.
Well, we know that Aaron Rodgers is one of these guys that either likes you or he don't. So you know.
So well, the guy will be used to it then. You know,
I mean, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't throw it to Pat Fryermuth. He wouldn't throw it to Roman Wilson. I don't know. I just don't know how. But how. I'm ready to see Will. Somber says yes. BTJ is depth now. Also, Somber says is a first rounder. Wild. Job knows Smith. Job knows Smith is what John is saying on the board. Job knows Smith. I'd like to see where he plays next year, Mike. I'd like to see how that plays out as well. Does he get his flow back? And are we going to see the same John Smith everywhere he goes, or is it going to come back to this being the Steelers' problem? And he came here, he stunk. The offense was bad. They didn't have and it would be funny because it was a offense that was built around tight ends. So
I want to see him to go to a warm weather team and see if the joints loosen up and he's able to run fast and free.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
Let me get into a couple things, Mike. We do have some scoop here going on in the league, going on with our Steelers. Calvin Austin, the third guys hired the Rosenhaus Sports. He hired them, the Rosenhaus Sports run by Drew Rosenhaus, to maximize his free agent market, Mike. He had been represented by the United Sports Group of Memphis. This was something that was just done recently, changing to the new agent to try to again maximize his value in the league. Does this seem like he's being pretty serious that he wants to leave Pittsburgh?
I think he's very serious to maximize his contract value, because I think he knows that this might be his only shot, especially for being a smaller receiver. And this is his one chance to get the most money that he can. And so I think it was a smart move by him. And it probably does signal that he'll be employed elsewhere.
So, and he's another one, Calvin Austin. He just never really excelled, and certainly under Aaron Rodgers, Mike. I think his size certainly played a role, but this again could be a sign, guys, that he may be moving on again, like Miles Killebrew selling his house right here last week. So maybe this is something that could point to that's going to be what happens moving forward. Again, free agency in just 1 week fully kicks off, Mike. 1 week and a few hours from right now. Let me go to this right here. The Chargers plan to move the guard, Mike. What's his name? Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton. Mike, in the coming days, says the LA Chargers. He's on a $9.7 million cap. Mike, he was a former first-round pick. People are talking about him possibly being the Siamalu replacement. Now, if you're going to handle that left guard position via free agency, Mike, this former first-round draft pick, looks like he's going to be available within the next few days.
He was drafted by the Jets, was a left or right tackle. Didn't do really well there, then went to guard. I don't know how well he did out there in San Diego.
I'm going to tell you, when we hear how well he did,
yeah.
Remember, their weakness was their offensive line.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that's on his way out.
Yeah.
That should tell you a story.
Yeah. I don't want any Mekhi Becton. He would be another reclamation type project.
And simply again, Mike, what happens when you have let's say our offensive line didn't play well and there's a weak link like Broderick Jones. That's like somebody waking up saying, "Hey, the Steelers are letting Broderick Jones go. We need a left tackle. Let's go get him. Hurry up." He was a first. He was a first round. He was a first.
We can
round
fix
pick.
him. We can fix him.
He was a first round pick. You got to get him. And this is kind of that to me, Mike. Again, that offensive line was the Achilles heel for the Chargers this year. They had a good offense with the exception of that line that couldn't keep them upright. And again, this is the guy that's leaving from that offense.
Yeah.
So again, I think that speaks volumes.
especially when you had like what both of their tackles who were back-to-back first-round draft picks like have season-ending injuries, and they didn't even kick Benton out to tackle. That tells you like, yeah, nope. I don't want any part of Mekhi Benton. I think there's much better guards available.
Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger is against spending draft premium on a quarterback this year, Mike. He says give Howard a chance or bring in a vet to mentor him. He mentioned Mariota and Carson Wentz, if in that same breath. And I think that's what's going to be this year, Mike. I don't think there's any chance that we spend any high picks, or maybe if they get something later, they see one of these guys. Obviously, they might grab him as they did Will Howard last year. But at the end of the day, Mike, I think ultimately, I would think the play for quarterback would be next year's draft. And again, here we are just kicking it down the road another year. Next year could come around and some of these guys go back to school and other guys could not have a great season. And, and we could be in that same pit. So at some point we do have to pull the trigger. Some point we do have to take risk. But again, like Ben's saying, Mike, I don't think it's going to be this year.
No, I don't see a quarterback in the first or second round. Like I said, maybe at pick 99, that's where our last comp pick or our first comp pick is projected at. If they like the guys that they picked before that last third round pick, I can see them taking a flyer on someone. And depending on who's there at the time, it might not be a bad option, but I'm not on board with it, but you never know with Omar Khan and Weedle, man. If they see something they like, they're not afraid to snatch them up and also snatch them up early.
And also from the mouth of former Steelers, Mike, James Harrison says this: the Steelers should stay away, far away from Anthony Richardson, Mike, as he questions if he really wants to play. End quote of what James Harrison says about Anthony Richardson, Mike. Again, another one of these rumors just floating around, as there's plenty right now.
Yeah.
Your take on Anthony Richardson?
Injury prone, very, very, very athletic freak, but someone who should have went back to college and worked on his craft. Athletic freak, but too injury prone. So I no, fuck no. Stay far, far, far away.
Players that may be appealing to you, Mike. Alec Pierce. This is a name that keeps coming up from Indianapolis. I've been hearing this name more this offseason personally as a Steeler fan than I've heard probably in the guy's career to date. Mike, I got to look at his highlights. He's pretty impressive. What if we would land Alec Pierce opposite side, DK Metcalf?
Sign me up. I will definitely take me some Alec Pierce. A perfect number 2, a good compliment to a DK Metcalf, and you get him too. It still doesn't preclude you from drafting another receiver in the second or third round.
Absolutely,
or even the first.
Mike, I think you're going to have to, because again, if Calvin Austin walks, what else do we really have going on? Roman Wilson, they won't let the poor guy play. If Calvin Austin goes elsewhere, whatever goes on with Scotty, I mean, we don't know. And basically that leaves you with DK Metcalf. So if you would bring in, let's say, Pierce, you're still going to have to be looking for a decently high receiver in the draft, I would think, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. Wouldn't be your number 1 anymore, but you'd certainly be looking for some high caliber in a wide receiver rich draft as this is. I think you'd still have gotten somebody pretty talented to get that room getting filled up to some capacity.
You're gonna if you get someone like Pierce or even Dobbs, say in free agency, and you're sitting there at the first round and like somehow Mekhi Lemon falls there, or Omar Cooper sitting there, I'm taking one of those 2 receivers, and that's on paper a great 1-2-3 punch at wide receiver. And then, my God, you don't worry about like the loss of Calvin Austin. You don't worry about the lack of production out of Roman Wilson, because you got those 3 right there. Then you add in your 2 tight ends. Sign me up all day, every day for a draft / free agency like that to happen. But give me Alec Pierce, another big body receiver. Then you can go out. If you get someone like Mekhi Lemon, you're if you're concerned about his height and weight at 5'11", 195, it's kind of assuaged by the two big bastards on the outside.
Yeah, no, you're right. I got a few more things, but I'm gonna get back on the board, Mike. I'm not trying to get too far behind. Let's go right here to Tortilla, where he says if they were smart, move Hunter, the full-time DB, and keep the three-headed monster BTJ Myers in Washington. I that's a good point. I mean, you know, with Hunter, you have a different situation than you normally have. So it's this is the way they're deciding to go with it, and unfortunately, it doesn't play out well for BTJ at the end of the day. Still Loyal says BTJ getting talent getting wasted.
I think Hunter.
Steele says BTJ talent getting wasted. Bring him to Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean it's hard to say with Hunter. I mean right now it's a lot. That's a lot to put onto somebody in the NFL to do what he does. You know.
But at some point you got to sit that kid down. And go, you showed you can't play both ways in the NFL. Yeah. You didn't even make it through a full season. We're going to put you at whatever your best position is, and that's what you're going to work on. You're going to hone your craft at that position.
Yinzer Joe says Minka is slow now. He's a depth chart player. He gets beat, gives up on tackles, and he got embarrassed by DK. He won't be back. That's true. That did happen. Didn't DK run his ass over?
Yeah, he did.
Chad Trader, what's up, dude? Always great seeing Chad Trader on the terrible board. He says this. He says, what's up, Ryan and Mike? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. That's right, baby. It's always here we go, Steelers. My man, always great to see you, Chad. Hope things are going well for you, dude. Steel Loyal says, just put Darnell. You know what? Listen, you say that jokingly, but I'm a guy that I will put Darnell Washington at every position. Just because, again, I love freaks. I love freaks in nature. I love guys that are just bigger than everybody, even if, they're uncoordinated. There's just something about a person with that size. I would put Darnell Washington at any position except for maybe cornerback. Obviously, that would not end well. But a lot of positions on the field, you could take a man like that, and just size alone, I think will bring you a little bit of success. I just love Darnell Washington, Mike. I love him. I didn't love Heath Miller. He was good. He was the best tight end we've ever had. Got the yards, got the touchdowns. I love Darnell Washington. I just love the size on that man, Mike. I just love it. He's a freak. And again, you get somebody like this that nobody else has, you got to use that because somebody would sure as shit use it against us. And again, the way guys just bounce off of his body when they try to tackle him, my God, I love it. He's one of my favorite Steelers. He is.
Yeah. Yep. Mine too. In somber, I'm right there with you, brother. I love me some freaks too.
Let's go to see this way. Derpy, I don't even know where you're at.
I'm reading ahead on the comments. I'm interrupting you.
People.
I'm just having a rough one, and I apologize, everyone. It's been a long day for me. I tried to separate work from the show, and everything's just bleeding over.
Yeah, you're doing all right. I mean, just a lot messed up, but you're still doing all right.
Other than your colossal fuck up, you're doing a good job.
Let's move on. Tortilla says Murray's hands are an inch bigger than Pickett's, believe it or not. I don't know if that's even that much of an improvement. Kenny had some pretty small hands.
It's the strong hand. Take the strong hand, the little hand.
Corey says, I don't want Lord Farquhar back there throwing passes. Also, Summer says only 5 inches shorter. Right. He's a pretty small dude. Kyler is. Rooney competitive, John says in parentheses. Also, Chad says, Aaron Rodgers, can you please come back out of your dark closet and give us Steelers fans an answer sooner than later if you're coming back and retiring? Again, this is kind of where we're sitting. We're all on our hands right now, or we're all kind of on the edge of our seat because we're waiting to see what Aaron says. That's going to affect possibly how things go next week in free agency. That's going to affect how things go next month in the draft. So, we got scoop. The story was that he was gonna have his information, Mike, about if he was coming back by mid-March. Then there was a lot of speculation saying, well, you have the free agency coming, so it's probably going to come right before then. However, I think that it's known within the Steelers organization what his answer is, Mike. I do think maybe last year could have been a mystery a little bit, but now being involved with the team, knowing the owner, getting in, I think that they probably already know one way or another, whatever it is. But for us fans, the way that we're going to speculate, this kind of has to be answered for us, because again, then we could take a look at what free agency could be. And then once those moves start being made, Mike, then we're going to have an idea of what's going to be happening in the draft here in 50 days. So in my opinion, it would be huge if Aaron Rodgers would come out today on TV or whatever the case may be and make the announcement. I think it would go such a far way for us, Mike, in the board, because we could then start to look at what possibly might be the next move. And again, it's a domino effect. Mike, I would think the Steelers probably already know what's going on.
I do too. And if they don't know 100% for sure, they have an inkling either way of whether he wants to come back or test free agency.
And Mike, the one headline that we read last week was a lot of Steelers, a lot of people in the organization still consistently communicate with him on the daily.
Yeah.
What's being said? You know what I mean? A lot of these people are communicating with him. Hey, Aaron, what's going on? Oh, nothing. The sun's great here in California.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. You see what I'm saying? The information, it's behind the closed doors.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they know what's going down. And again, whoever the quarterback is, Mike, I'm going to support it. You know that, because it's the quarterback of my football team. You know which way I'm leaning. I like to see Will Howard this year. But at the end of the day, if it's Aaron, he comes back, it's going to be Aaron. And as it was with Wilson, and as it was with Fields, if it ends up being Kyler Murray or Danny Dimes or whoever, that's going to be my guy too. It's just right now, the possibilities, the table is wide open. The door is wide open. So it's right now, the opinions are a little harder. You want to see your guy. But when it all comes down to it, Mike, if it's Kyler Murray, let's roll. It's win some football games.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll support every quarterback that they would bring in, because if I hate them, I'm like, oh my god, that's a terrible decision. But I get what you're saying, and like I've been saying too for a long time, or at least since the season ended, they have multiple scenarios of what they're going to do free agency and draft, depending on like when Aaron announces, when he doesn't announce, and shit like that. And it wouldn't surprise me too if they had like a hard line communicated between the two, like, hey, if you don't tell us anything by this date, we're moving on 100% without you.
Absolutely, because Mike, the personnel that came into all these new coaches and shit, they have to have an idea what the hell they're doing. It's listen, there's 5 months till we get rolling, but there's not that much time in the big picture. This new group of people come in and they have to get their system together. Yeah. They have to know what players they're going to have for their system. They have to have an idea of how things are going to be ran. So again, I think it's very vital that this information is exchanged early. And again, I don't doubt that the people within the coaching system and the owners, I think they probably either know or they have a really good idea at this point, because again, these off seasons go by. It goes fast for us. Can you imagine how fast it goes by for them trying to get their shit together?
Yeah. And a lot of these coaches have, worked with McCarthy, and a lot of people are hating that, but it's an advantage too, because they know the system. They know what he likes to run on offense, and they know what kind of players fit into that offense. So therefore they can look at the roster and go, okay, who fits into our scheme, who doesn't? What quarterbacks fit into our scheme and who doesn't? So if Rodgers, doesn't come back, okay, what free agent quarterbacks or quarterbacks that are backing up other teams right now fit our system that we can go and get? So they have all this stuff figured out too. So that's why that familiarity of this coaching staff that a lot of people didn't like, that you can see online, like oh my god, he met Mike McCarthy once, or he coached with him here once, so therefore we have to get him. Like, that's helping them build the staff so everyone knows the system and they can hit the ground running. And like I said, man, they probably have a list for Omar Khan of like so many guys at every position for free agency or trades. Like, hey, if we can get this guy, here's how they plug into the system. So I bet their days are flying trying to figure out who to bring in, who to cut, and Mike, in the draft.
And we have 6 guys, our biggest, most valuable free agents. We don't know if they're going to be here. We don't
know.
Exactly. So you got Ciamalo, you have Asante Samuel Jr., you have Kyle Duggar, you have KG, you have Calvin Austin III, you have Pierre. So again, at the end of the day, a lot of work to be done, Mike. And again, the sooner you know what your your number one piece which is your quarterback on a 53-man team, the sooner everything else could start to come together for you. And again, Mike, we have to figure out what we're going to do with these guys. They coming back, we paying out more money, we letting them go, we bringing back other pieces. Maybe we're just not thrilled with Calvin Austin third, and maybe things could be figured out. But Mike, yes, those are the next steps, and hopefully, again, just for our sanity, I would love for the news about Aaron Rodgers to come out before things do get kicked off next week. But Mike, I got to be honest with you, I don't see this going much further than the Ides of March. Again, the 11th being the day that free agency kicks off officially. And only the rest of the week is going to basically fill that time. So I'm thinking sooner than later we're going to find out, Mike. But again, I still do think that they know.
Yeah, I think that they know, and it will be fun if there's no decision made by time tampering starts. Hearing real credible sources of a quarterback in the Steelers talking, whether it be a Kyler Murray, whether it be a talking to San Francisco for a trade for Mac Jones or some shit like that, then that will immediately tip you off that, okay, Aaron Rodgers is not coming back.
All right, let's take a look. Let's get back on the board here where Vegas says Kenny Pickett used both hands in preschool when they made little plaster Paris handprints on a plate project.
Trying to make that turkey look bigger too.
Little Kenny. Tortilla says Pickett thought he was Murray, though, with all of his spin moves. Somber says, roll out Kenny. Steel Loyal says Dante Moore. Darian Mensah. Maeva. Somber says, Steeler Freak says, I noticed KP's then girlfriend had bigger hands than him while watching the draft show. Material.
I always want a girlfriend with smaller hands than me.
Yeah. Somber says Mateer, LOL. Let's see, laugh my ass off. Manning. Scoot up here. Tater, he says Grandpa wants another team. He is using piss puke as a last option. Yeah, I'm sure that
to Cleveland.
Maybe he'll go to Cleveland. He'll be so happy there. If he goes to Cleveland, he can finish with 4 wins. Steel Loyal says Combine going to be crazy if they in alphabetical order. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas says this. It's not a good look for a quarterback when your career highlight is a fake slide, KP, just like it's not good for a wide receiver when your career highlights is a block limus. Apologize if I didn't get it. Somber says awesome. Just wanted to let y'all know. My man, Somber. Also, Steele says that's on YouTube, I think. LOL. Vegas says, I still can't believe when Limus hurt his thumb when he dove and missed the pass. Is okay. Limus Swede. Yes, of course. Steel Loyal says YouTube needs to get their shit together. I know something's going on with this. I don't know why. There's 2 of the exact same camera views. We apologize about that. Let's go to Steeler Freak. Ryan in that vertical. I do go on about it. Stevens or Joseph, Steelers don't believe in rebuilding. They reconstructure. They aren't the same. That's a good point. Engagement farming. Also, Ryan likes it horizontal only. So Dawn is saying 13 years. Loyal says, John says Rodgers used the 13 million to pay for his AI wife. You never know. That sounds right around, that these robots, Mike, they're rolling them out. They're saying we're all going to have Elon is at least is saying that we're all going to have robots before you know it. We will see. Somber says Rodgers doesn't get a raise. He didn't win a playoff game. And you know what? You know who else didn't get a raise because they didn't win a playoff game? Cam Hayward. Remember, he went on and on about his stipulations and his incentives, and they didn't even get to get that win in the playoffs.
No, nothing. It kind of makes me warm and fuzzy thinking about Cam Hayward not getting all of his money.
Steel Loyal says nope. Rodgers gets the same contract with incentives if he comes back. At least that's what I'd expect. Corey, don't drink that. He says this the way you give Will a chance and not wreck your chances at next draft is trade away TJ and Cam for 2027 picks, extend Herbig, and draft another Cam replacement. It's a win-win no matter what. You know what? It's an unpopular thing to say, but Corey, I'm going to be honest with you. At some point, we're gonna have to make a decision with Cam Hayward, and we're gonna have to make a decision with TJ Watt. And when you have a guy like Nick Herbig, and a guy like TJ Watt who's making quarterback one money, that's not the worst idea ever. And listen, I know people aren't going to want to hear TJ got to go. I understand that. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's got to be a business decision, and you got to decide where are we going to get this money to make our team better. Let's take it from the guy that got 7 sacks last year with getting paid quarterback one money. Again, I don't think that it's as crazy as it sounds. Corey says, in theory, of course. Kenneth Jones says, let Howard have it. Have at it. It's a win either way. Somber says this. Somber says, if Will Howard is nothing more than Mason's replacement, fine. I'm sick of Mason's face. There it is. Only an hour after Mike brought it up out of context.
I brought it up in context.
All right. Somber says this, and every time he gets in the game, we have to hear, hope he gets his helmet on. LOL, get him out of here. Steeler Freak John, he says this, there aren't enough first-string quarterbacks, let alone decent backups. It is a good gig. Steel Loyal says, yeah, Will Howard has Steeler written all over him, backup or not. Loyal, I'm sorry, no, Tater. You know what? I didn't even read it. Here we go. Tater Tard. Comment. Let's see what he says. So Murray, there it is. So Murray could go from the 31st ranked team to the 32nd. Coming from a Browns fan.
Yeah.
Again.
His first joke didn't land, so he repeats it.
I was going to say, didn't we already read that? And one thing that's weird about Tater Tard, of course, the resident Brown expert, he's from the United Kingdom, which is odd to me because being from Ireland would make me think that you would lean towards something that has an Irish connection, either the Steelers with the Rooneys, maybe even like the city of Boston that has a lot of representation of Irish things, and the Celtics and those dumb little Clovers or whatever that is. You would think that maybe that would draw his attention. What it is about the Browns that's attracting a person from Ireland, it blows my mind. Throw it up there, Tater. What got you into being a Browns fan? I would love to know at the end of the day. Because people in Cleveland don't even like the Browns.
No, he just loves the misery.
Maybe that's what it is. The Europeans, they a glutton for a punishment they are. Let's go to Yinzer Joe. He says this, Mason also fumbled the ball and had 4 down miss. I'd rather have Skylar Thompson. But wasn't that 4th down miss like 4th and 20? And we went for it and failed in that Chicago game. I remember it definitely being, Mason effed us. He didn't get it done in the Chicago game, but I remember it being a pretty bad situation. Like that 4th down was really far, and the goofy playing calling before it didn't get us to where we needed to get or something. I'd have to go back and watch that, but I certainly know when you're talking about, Joe. What's up, dude? Always great seeing Richard on the terrible board. Richard Jankowski says this. Good morning. Always great seeing Richard. I hope things are going well, man. Corey, don't drink that, says this. Call of Duty is how he perfected the run and slide. Mike, and that's how your run and slide became so good, Mike, also, right?
Yeah, I slide cancel.
Tater Tard says, Somber says, Tater Tard taking those NFLPA rankings to the Super Bowl. Steeler Freak John, he says, Mason is a big man, but oozes weakness when he speaks. Not a good look when expected to lead alpha males over 300 pounds.
But they all rally when he gets in there, though.
I mean, that's
because they all get ready to go. Like when Mason comes in, the boys are fired up and ready to go.
Because he's the charity case of the team. Like, have you ever seen when there's a retarded kid on a high school team and the end of the season comes and the season's over and it's a game that there's a blowout and they finally let the retarded kid in and everybody in the gymnasium stands up and cheers and it's like the biggest thing. That's kind of, I think, how people feel about Mason. He kind of brings that retard feel to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They all get fired up and they're ready to run through a brick wall for him.
I remember there was a retarded kid in my school. We all clapped and cheered. We were ready to run through a brick wall for this kid because he was retarded. But anyway,
was it you?
It was not. It was not. Also, Richard says this. Murray is too short and doesn't study film. He hasn't played a full season in 4 years. Yinzer Joe, yes, we could sign Murray cheap by giving him a new game box, but I don't see an upside. We have quarterbacks on the roster that can do the same thing, and they're taller. Aaron Williams says this. Do call think we could benefit from a lose? I listen, I don't want it, but we could definitely benefit from a losing season. people have just got it etched in their minds now that, oh my God, if we have a losing season, it's the worst thing ever. Let's not make big moves because it might drop us below the. It's crazy. We have to start making decisions on this team, big boy decisions and big boy risk. Otherwise, we're going to continue on the same path we've been on for a decade. And again, with a new coaching staff, I would think this is a perfect opportunity to make that moves. But that's just me personally. Steeler Freak says this: Rodgers will never fare well against D. Like to say, no, you're right. Every good defense we played last year, he stunk. The Browns, even as bad as they are, the defense is good. We lost up there. And other teams that have good defense. How did Aaron Rodgers look against Houston in the playoffs? I mean, next to nothing. Seattle, we lost to them. Go down the list. Anybody that had good defenses, Green Bay, they beat us. Tater says Grandpa is using the Schittsburg. He wants another team. You know what? That's fine. No, listen, nobody's crying over Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you're still going to be a Browns fan, and the Browns are going to still be the Browns. We're going to still be all right. You could come and admire the rings anytime that you would like that, Tater. Anytime that you're in the States, come see us. Let's go to Somber. He says the Matrix took Vanilla Thunder. I seen that. I don't know what was going on.
They did. It did. It's happened a couple times. The Matrix has come after me today.
Somber says he has been released. Steeler Freak Mike and Ryan are both correct. SOS. Mark Malone, 13-4, at least one playoff win. And that's what you're all right. I forget what it was. If somebody played and we get that. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not sure, John. I can't remember what that was referring to. He follows it up by saying, or Mark, I'm sorry. John follows it up by saying, I think Ryan is right. Art will like a quarterback like Murray for the marketing potential. It will take half a season to realize he is ass. Somber says, I think they will be willing to trade away high picks next year for their guy, and they'll be aggressive this year with the 12 picks. Somber said, I'm sorry. Yinzer Joe, it's been said a few years now that the quarterbacks coming out in the draft are going to be good. This has been the Steelers' problem for years, waiting on a good draft quarterback. That's why they've been signing vets. But you got to think also, dude, Joe, how long has it's been 5 years since Ben Roethlisberger walked away?
Yeah.
I mean, years have came and gone. Why are other people are getting quarterbacks that are starting on their team and bringing success? And
they were picking high. You figure, oh my God, what's his name from New England? My God, he was the third overall pick. You had the Caleb Williams.
So on one hand,
they're
argument,
picking high, getting them.
So the answer to that would be accept the losing season if it comes, but nobody wants that. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like this purgatory has created a situation where people don't want anything to happen. They want to get good. They want the team to be better, but they don't want to lose to get the better player. And they don't want to get the better player because they don't want to lose. And they want it's again, this last 10 years has effed people's minds up as far as football goes, Mike. This is not the same as it's been my whole life. And again, this is totally fixable. They just have to decide they want to pull the trigger on some shit instead of keep doing the same thing over and over and over and getting the same exact results. It's not going to change, Mike. And that's the big hope this year. We have the new coach. It's going to change. But again, you have to do something different. Otherwise, you're not going to get different results. We have a decade's worth of football here in Pittsburgh to prove that.
The thing is, can you really look at your 52 or 53 guys in that locker room and tell them, go out there and play shitty, so hopefully maybe quasi next year we can get it?
Nope.
Or do you want to go in and just tear it completely down and hopefully can rebuild rebuild it.
All I'm saying, I didn't say either. My argument is this: give the guy a try that you drafted, and if he doesn't do as well as you'd like him to do, then you will fall. If he does do well, then it's a success. And if he doesn't learn again, then you learn that he's not going to be good enough, and you could play off of that and then go get your draft pick next year. Will Howard has to be a part of the equation this year, Mike, in some capacity. I just think that he does. Otherwise, go out and get those same caliber guys. Get another Aaron Rodgers. Get another Russell Wilson. You know what you're going to get because, again, it's been happening year after. It's like Groundhog Day. Every time I wake up, I hear Sonny and Cher playing, and it's just a different quarterback. It's of that same caliber, over past their prime, older in age, was successful at one point. again, it's getting old, and I don't see how people don't see how changing the formula is going to change the results. Just opinion, just my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
I just think that Will Howard has to be involved this year.
Yeah.
Let me scoot up to Yinzer Joe. He says it's been said a few years now that the quarterbacks coming out of the draft are going to be okay. We did get that one. Aaron J. There it is again. Mike, here we go. Steelers with his Rockets. Steelers Freak John says soon it will be like movie Major League. Folks who were alive the last time the Steelers won a playoff game get in for free.
Mm-hmm.
At LV DeWeed, I do want to say welcome to the show. Welcome, LV. Welcome, and welcome to the terrible board. Will Howard deserves his chance. I agree. And I think Mike's thinking that I'm saying just throw him in there, make him the starter, and just assume that he's starting. No, I think he should certainly be competing, and he should be in heavy competition with whoever's there. And if he does win that competition leading up to, I think he should be treated fairly and given that opportunity. And again, if he goes into the regular season and totally blows ass, let's say we go out and we lose, we get murdered in the first 4 games, then you have to yank him. You got to get him out of there. But at some capacity, I think he has to be involved in ways of just, again, answering the questions that are going to come up next in the way things are going to fold out moving forward. So John says Ryan wants it horizontal bad. Joe Howard has nothing to do but break his hand, has done nothing but break his hand. It's not time for him to be the starter. Steeler Freak says Ryan is going to unravel. I mean, come on, who knows? Tomorrow we're going to have three vertical screens. It's no horizontal screens.
I just won't put a stream up tomorrow. We'll just talk to ourselves.
Mark Malin says a guy needs a Jewish agent when it comes to negotiate. Also, John says this. I thought Jay Smith could be their number 2 wide receiver. As far as production, I was way off.
I think a lot of us were hoping Johnny would be able to recreate some of that magic he had down in Miami the year previous, which is not paying out.
I know they certainly made us think that he was. Let's go right here. Tortilla says, if I were a betting man, I bet some other team. Here it goes. If I were a betting man, I bet some other team probably could get the most out of Rodgers, and probably. And maybe the coaching staff now can. I don't know. We just know that what was going on for the past decade wasn't working. So things are changing. We will see. We will see. John says this: any quarterback drafted will make OSU huggers go Chernobyl.
That's why we're gonna go draft.
See, look how excited Mike is now. Look how excited he is now.
Because I love the drama. I love the drama.
When we're talking about the guy from Ohio State, it's like, I don't really ever hold anything.
No, I want the drama.
I don't hold anything against anybody because of what college they come from. And then it's like that comment. He's like, well, yes, we could do this, we could do that. You ain't fooling anybody. You Nittany Lion fan. Want to be Indiana Hoosier fan, but you'll be back.
I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan. Mendoza all day, every day.
Mark Malone says we need 3 badass wide receivers. We have 1. John says FB is too complex for Iron Man now. I also love Freaks, is what Somber says. Another one. Mike, you did jump up ahead of that. We got that discussed about an hour ago ahead of time. Let me scoot on here.
Well, it was pertinent to the conversation at hand. I thought it'd be a quick, funny aside.
Do you want to go? Do you want to jump around and find 6 or 7 other comments that might have something to do with what we're talking about now? Somber says I also love Freaks. RB says Ryan loves Freaks of Nature. Did you ever see the third one starring Tommy Tucock? I've never seen that. It sounds amazing though. Tommy Tucock. Hold on, let me see, Mike.
Michael, don't leave me here. Michael,
Steeler Freak John says Derpy donates his breast milk to the Pittsburgh Zoo.
Derpy.
Tortilla says hit the like button or you got to wash Tater's back. I like that. That's, you know what, in its own way, Mike, that deserves a game ball in itself. Tortilla's got to be collecting these game balls, man. He's been nailing them lately. He's got to have a nice collection. Steeler Freak John says Rodgers with no exceptions is the way it is looking. Also, what's up, Danny Boyling? Nice seeing you back. He says, I hope Aaron retires. Give me anyone else. So, yeah, I mean, just those a couple opinions, kind of those 2 messages give you an idea of how Steeler fans are looking. On one hand, Voice A says Rodgers with no expectations is the way it's looking, which I'm not saying that's what he's supporting, but also Danny is saying, I hope Aaron retires. Give me anyone else, guys. So this is where we be right now as Steeler fans. Steeler Freak says this: Art might like Murray, like a Murray option. Fans can't be bullshitted with Rodgers again. Danny Bullen says, let Aaron go back to be smoking ayahuasca or whatever mind-freeing drug he wants to smoke. John says, Tater ordered his robot to look like Lindsay.
Poor Lindsay.
Poor Lindsay. Poor robot. Yep. Can you imagine being there when he rolls over?
Oh. Who would be worse, him or Derpy?
Who or Derpy? I thought we were talking about Derpy. Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Derpy.
Let's go to End of Days. What's up, End of Days? Always great seeing you. He says, I like Howard. Give him 6 games, then make him the starter if he looks good. Trade TJ. A lot of trade TJ talk from different voices today on the board, Mike. Just something
I'm all for it. I was all for it last year.
I do want to say welcome to Mick Carter. Welcome, Mick. Welcome to the Terrible Board. Welcome to the show. Mick says this, Mike. People should remember McCarthy developed Rodgers even through, though McCarthy wasn't coaching. He still scouted all the quarterbacks last season, and Will Howard was who McCarthy liked, and that's saying something. It's a good message. Good post, Mick. Nice to have you here, my man.
Like, don't forget, Aaron Rodgers was a first-round pick that sat for 2 to 3 years before he even played.
Yeah.
So I have no problem with Will Howard having to sit for another year and it getting, some.
Well, Will Howard, but that was part of. He fell into what it was that Green Bay did.
Yeah,
Green Bay seen a good quarterback coming out of Cal.
Yeah.
He had all this upside, and they said, "Well, you know what? Let's put a plan in place because Brett Favre isn't going to be here forever." As we probably should have done a little bit better at the end of Ben's career, and so by default, it worked out in Green Bay the way that played out. Good on them. They know what they're doing at the quarterback position, obviously. Mick says this. He follows it up by saying Steelers didn't help Broderick none by playing him at right tackle. This was his best season before the injury. Broderick is still developing. The thing about him, Mick, is this. Even at this point, he's getting looking on his second contract already. How much time could we give the guy ultimately? Go ahead, Mike. You look like you had something to say.
I was going to say that first 9 games that he played, it was last 9 games of his rookie season. When he came in at right tackle, that offense totally changed. They were able to run the ball. They were one of the best teams running the ball that second half of the season. He looked like a true right tackle out there, just a road grading bastard because his weakness is pass protection. So, I
is a left tackle. That's a terrible weakness to have.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, this guy looks like a true right tackle in the NFL. But then all of a sudden it became, after that, oh my God, he's playing on the wrong side. I'm like, why? Look at the film that rookie year. He played great. He played great as right tackle. He couldn't beat out Dan Moore, who we couldn't wait to get rid of at left tackle. So for me, Broderick Jones was always a right tackle. He was playing better this year, but I still say his best games were at right tackle in his rookie year.
And unfortunately, we have a right tackle, so that we just drafted. So I don't know how this is going to play out for Broderick. I just, again, we're getting pretty far down the line for him, and things just don't seem to be getting better. Yes, things are. Yeah, you guys aren't wrong. But at the end of the day, how long can we piss around with this project?
Yeah, I think his career might be done. The way that neck injury is sounding,
it's doesn't look good.
It does not sound good. Does not look good for him. It wouldn't surprise me if he's on IR all year long.
This is some question. These are some comments about, of course, Tater Tard coming up here. RB says United Kingdom is soon to be the first Muslim country with nukes, followed up by Corey saying he likes the smell of shit and losing. I guess if you're a Browns fan, that has to be 2 things that you're comfortable with, Mike. The smell of shit and losing.
Yeah, it's a prerequisite.
Tortilla says, is that why everyone went wild when I banked 3 in? Yes, Tortilla. That was exactly it. See, the retarded kid never knows that he's a retarded kid. He just thinks that he's getting this big chance. And then when everybody stops and lets him go up and shoot the ball and he misses and they get it and they hand it right back to him, and he shoots again and misses, and then they give it back to him again, and he shoots, and it finally goes in. Every person in that gymnasium, fans, parents, cheerleaders, bands, coaches, whatever it is, everybody cheers when that happens. Tortilla. So if that's what happened to you, if you didn't know who the retarded kid was, just say it. Just say it.
I gotta hop off for a second. I'll be right back,
Yes,
boys.
you're good. Tortilla said, I was wondering we were down by 30. Sommer says, we had a little person as our water boy in high school. I'd take him over Mason. Steeler Freak John said, as soon as Art hears rebuild, that he buzzes security. Let's scoot up here a little bit too. Corey says this. We've seen how playing it safe has helped us since Super Bowl 45. At this rate, the apocalypse is more probable than us going back to the Super Bowl if we don't start taking big swings. I agree, Corey. We got to do something. And again, you would think with the opportunity, with the change that we're going through right now, just overall, this would be the year to try those things before you get comfortable again. We shouldn't be comfortable right now. We should be, trying different things, I would think. I don't think we're in a position to be comfortable. John says the Steelers were afraid of Ben and are still paying for it. That's an interesting comment too, John. I was reading a lot about that actually this week. Tater, I don't understand your hard on for Ben. He was average. He's only... Listen, dude, he was the ninth. He has the ninth most passing yards all time of every single quarterback that ever played the game, with only people like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Drew Brees, and guys like this are ahead of him. What's up, dude? Jamal, what's up, man? Haven't seen you for a while, brother. Hope things are going well for you, dude. Always great seeing Jamal. Black Magic 7777. Somber says, LOL, he averagely owned your org for his entire tenure. Also, John says, Art won't let Howard start. Not a Rooney competitive move. Richard says this, I'm for Howard and a draft quarterback in the third or fourth round this year and start the best one this season. But unfortunately, the Steelers management will never allow that to happen. Tortilla, two dumb red roses or two dumb red zones. Two dumb red zones. I like it. Also, Tater says, what the fuck is a Will Howard? Jamal says, a gangsta. Long live Will. Long live Will. Gonna go right here to right here. Mick Carter says, or he could have a Peyton Manning season, set an NFL record for most INTs in a single season, but then y'all would crucify Howard then. Jamal says, Will Howard is going to win the spot in preseason. Again, that's all he could hope for. That's the best opportunity he has. The thing is, he has to come out and ball out. He has to come out and ball out, probably play as good as Skylar Thompson played last year or even better. Just the way things are going and the way things go with this organization, maybe to have him as an opportunity, an option to be a starter early in the season. He has to ball out. He has to come out in preseason and really ball out. Mark Malone, who gets to wash Derpy's boobs? That's a good question. Maybe that's what Aunt Peaches has. Looks like she has so many years taken off her life. Maybe she is involved in that. Let's go to Vegas. Vegas has been tied at number 2 for number of wins. Isn't Ben Roethlisberger? Didn't he have the most wins in Brown Stadium ever? Until Baker Mayfield passed it up. Broderick Jones is terrible. John Wool, I do want to say welcome to the terrible board. Welcome, John, to the show. He says Broderick is terrible. I agree. I mean, how long do you want this project? This got to be a 15-year project with this guy. The way things are going with him. Vegas says 26-2-1 versus the Browns is hardly average. Good point, Vegas. You scoot up here, guys. Sommer says, let's see what old man Rodgers has to say. Mark Malone, Broadbustrous is done. He's done. Don't drink that Corey. Brojo sounds like my kid. He got a big head because he was good at something and decided he was too good to put in the work to perfect his craft, and now his ignorance is costing him. Interesting. It's a good comment. Tortilla says, they told me I was so good I was going to meet LeBron. They give you a lot of free stuff too, and they give you a lot of like a T-shirt and all. I seen similar games, Tortilla.
Yeah, it's like being the kid in the hospital, and you think it's going to be good news, but the doctor comes in, followed by the Avengers and LeBron and Jordan. You're like, you're gonna have a bad time.
Vegas says if the school bus stops in front of your house, you might be special.
I saw this before I had to step away, and it makes me chuckle because it stops in front of my house, and my kid is special needs.
That's right.
But goes to the regular school, so that just made me laugh so fucking hard. and like when I grew up, where I grew up, there's a school for special ed kids, and they have a bus, and there was a kid down the street that would go, and he would go even later in life, to where my dad always joked with my brothers that was our bus. Then he did it to my nephew. Then he did it to my niece. And one day she literally thought it was her bus, the special bus, and she was running down the street trying to chase the special ed bus.
Tortilla, he knows all this, man. He's been there, done that. Let's go to Somber, where she says, Rodgers on why he's been working out. I want to look good. I want my wife to fuck me. LOL. Valid. That's interesting. Corey says this. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, wasn't she fucking him before?
I don't know. Apparently not. Don't drink that. Corey says this. As fans, we're not in position to be emotionally attached to any one player either. Everyone should be a possible casualty for success since the team couldn't plan accordingly. Tortilla says, make a wish, make it a swish. There you go, Tortilla. Vegas, Ben is the seventh all-time in passing, and his other numbers aren't that bad either. At the end of the day. He wasn't that bad of a guy. Vegas says Winston had 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same year. That is a crazy statistic. Vegas says this. Imagine Deacon Jones with his head slap versus Brojo and his bad neck. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, his head would be decapitated.
Just doesn't look good for Brojo. Tater said there's a power shift coming in the AFC North. Since 1987?
This is going to be the year the Ravens win it, and the Steelers come in second, and the Bengals come in third, and you come in fourth. Okay,
that sounds about right.
That's the normal power shift in the AFC North.
It is. Mike, a couple more things, and we are at that time. We're rounding third here on the show. Let me just talk about a couple more people, a couple more things, a couple more players, Mike. Javon Hargraves. Now, let me ask you about Hargraves. At this point in his career, Mike, is people going to be willing to give him the money that he's looking for, or does Javon Hargraves, would he benefit by taking less money, coming to the Steelers and being a depth piece? Because at the end of the day, we don't want to pay him a lot of money, obviously, but I do know that people like Hargraves. Mike, is Hargraves going to get big money to go elsewhere? Again, he's been through the system, I'd say, at this point. When he was in San Francisco, I thought he was playing his best football. He's already two teams past that. Does Hargraves get big money to go elsewhere to play on a defensive line, or is he going to be going somewhere like us? And I'm not saying particularly to us, kind of as a depth piece somewhere and getting paid a little less money.
He's going to go and just be a depth piece somewhere. Because like you said, like, after he left here, went to Philly, played well there, played well in San Francisco. Then the injuries started piling up again. And no, Javon Hargraves is done. I'm sorry. Like, if we bring him back, I have no idea what the hell we're trying to do here. Like, I'm completely dumbfounded why he's on anyone's radar for Pittsburgh.
Vegas says the Browns hang division championship banners, and they still don't have any. Mike, this player here is a free agency, the Super Bowl MVP. Kenneth Walker III. Mike, where does he land in the league? He's a nice. My God, we even played them earlier in the year, and I still wasn't up to the. I didn't realize he was as good as he was. Mike, he played 200% in that Super Bowl. Everybody else was playing 100 or less. Kenneth Walker is going to be nice for somebody. And finally,
I think so too. I think he's going to make a lot of money.
Mike, does Joe Flacco, what he could be paid? Does he possibly become an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, he candidly made the joke he would love to get the play for the whole entire division, but at the end of the day, he went to Cleveland. He won football games with no offense. He went to Cincinnati. He was able to win football games in the absence of Joe Burrow. Yes, it's been years. He's won a Super Bowl. Mike, he went to the Indianapolis Colts briefly. Why is Joe Flacco not an option? Is it just because he's Joe Flacco?
I think so. I think it's because he's Joe Flacco. Would you rather have him or Aaron Rodgers at this point?
I don't know, because
I'm not joking either. Like they're both the same age.
and here's the thing, Aaron Rodgers, we already know what he can do. And again, you've seen Joe Flacco and the Browns go out and beat the Green Bay Packers. Did Aaron Rodgers beat the Packers? He did not. You've seen Joe Flacco go out and get, do a lot of things last year, past couple years. And again, we kind of know for the most part, what the capabilities of Aaron Rodgers are. And again, add some weapons, it could be a different story. But at the end of the day, I don't think that he should be out of the question, or even something that we laugh at when we hear his name. Because again, I think he may be, for what it is that we're doing, maybe it should at least be an option. As of right now, again, this isn't the answer, but if we're going to continue to spin this carousel, I mean, we've tried other things that were like, we went with Mitch Trubisky and gave him a chance to be the starter. So again, why wouldn't we consider, again, what he's done the past couple of years? We've seen that he's somewhat serviceable even at his age.
Yeah.
And again, listen, I don't want this.
Yeah, neither do I. But he's not afraid to push the ball down the field. He's not afraid to attack of every part of the field. He's not that Aaron Rodgers is nimble as he once was, but Joe Flacco makes Aaron Rodgers look like Lamar Jackson. Joe Flacco is a statue back there, even more at this advanced stage than he was in his prime. So he doesn't have that escapability.
He has better success against better teams. That's all I care about.
I know.
I don't care if the guy runs
even on a bad team, he won. So you know what? If it was Flacco or Aaron Rodgers, fuck it, man. Give me Joe Flacco, because it's something different at this point.
And again, I don't
can't
want
get any worse.
But I wish that it was an option. I wish it was something people were a little bit more open to, because if he could come in and do better than Aaron and get us a little more success and maybe another win or two during the season, why wouldn't you want that? It's the name thing at this point. It's Joe Flacco. He was a Raven. People just don't like him. But logically, Mike, if we're going to continue to do what we're doing with kicking the can down the road, bringing in this carousel of older quarterbacks, I'm not against Joe Flacco. Again, I don't love it. I don't want it to happen. I want better things to happen. But at the end of the day, I think he has to be an option. A couple more things, Mike, and we are going to get ready to start wrapping things up here today. Who are the Steelers willing to trade? If it comes down to it, we know who we want. We want this guy. We want that guy. Oh, we want everybody. But when it comes down to it, when you're talking trades, Mike, not free agencies per se, when you're talking trades, who on this Steelers team is GM Con and the owners willing to trade when it comes down to it? Because we want. Nobody talks about the pieces that we're willing to give up if we do go after somebody maybe in a trade, Mike. Who are the Steelers willing to trade?
Ooh, that's a tough one. God, no one's going to like me saying this. Nick Herbig, because he's the piece that can probably get you the biggest return. He's the piece that can get you that wide receiver if a team really wants an edge. I don't think they would trade him, but if they're looking to trade an asset, he's the most desirable piece.
Why wouldn't you get rid of the piece that cost you the most money?
It's the salary cap situation with like a Watt or with a Highsmith is going to no team's going to want to take that. Teams would want those guys.
I bet you there would be people that would take them.
Give you that much in return to take on.
Mike, I'm reading this morning, Max Crosby, they want 2 first-round picks for this guy. If Max Crosby is demanding 2 first-round picks, I think TJ Watt could certainly bring something in.
Not 2 first-round draft picks.
Listen,
I think Watt would get you a third with that contract and his injury concern. Yeah.
I don't know. I disagree. Who else? Who else do you think, Mike, could be on this list of people that the Steelers are willing to trade away? Again, I think it's crazy to trade Nick Herbig away. He has to be the next piece. He's the piece behind TJ, in my opinion. And again, this contract, quarterback one money. We don't understand why we can't have offense. Mike, again, last year we had a 43-year-old quarterback. We had 1 wide receiver, we had a third string running back that started the season, was the team MVP on offense. Something at some point, Mike, we have to spend money on this offense. And again, when you have a guy that gets you 7 sacks, earning top quarterback money, this is what you get, unfortunately. Who else, Mike, do you like for trades? I'm seeing on the board Tortilla. He says trade Highsmith. I don't want to trade Muth, but I think he's on the list too. He's saying they are good contracts, but that makes it easier to trade. Mike, what about the Highsmith? Where does he fall?
Highsmith would be the one that I would trade because I want to keep Nick Herbig. Like ideally, I'd like to keep. I'd like to keep them all because, like I said, none of them make it through a full season unscathed. But for a contract that might be the easiest one to move out of an established veteran, Alex Highsmith is. He still has this year and next year on it, and if a team can get out of his contract easily next year, that makes him the most attractive one. Yes, TJ Watt's history, his track record of what he has done, the Hall of Fame career he has put up, that's awesome. But that contract is bloated. You would have to take him on for another more or less 2 years, this year and next year. You're looking at $42 million the next 2 years for a team would have to take. Then you can get out of his contract in that third year. I don't see a team willing to take on that contract and to give the Steelers a good return because we're starting to see diminished returns of what you're paying them. You're paying them $52 million this year, and you're going to get like maybe 7 sacks. No, if I'm paying him that much money, I want that 17 to 20 sacks a year. Right. So no team's going to want him at that rate to pay him that much money and to give you draft capital.
I think there's a lot of teams that are interested in him still. I think there's a lot of people that would take him given the opportunity, but I have to turn the page, Mike. As of this morning, Andrew Stocky, he did post this, Mike. It says fans can now register for free entry for the 2026 NFL draft in Pittsburgh by downloading the NFL One Pass app, the NFL One Pass app, or visiting NFL.com/draft access, guys. Again, this came out this morning. I saw this, and I just wanted to relay the message in case anybody's coming to town. If anybody's in town going to the draft, again, 50 days from right now. Again, one more time, fans can now register for free entry to the 2026 draft in Pittsburgh by downloading the NFL One Pass app or visiting NFL.com/draft access. If that helps out any, use that as you will. Let me grab a couple more of these, Mike, and we are going to get to the question of the day. It's about that time. I'm going to go right here to Somber, where he says this: seems like Rodgers and McCarthy have mended whatever issues they had. Nothing but great things to say about the new head coach. I think Rodgers is back.
Ooh.
Mark Malone says the Gravedigger is getting up there in age. I really do think we need to draft the Black Don Corleone, Mike, the Dante Corleone.
We do, man. I was on Dante Corleone early just because of the name, but then I started, reading about him, watching him. I want the big fat bastard on my team. Right. And I say that lovingly when I call him a big fat bastard.
That's the way we'll take it. Vegas says they should double dip at wide receiver, cornerback, offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, and they will still have 2 more picks. You know what? There's a lot, man. But just when you get to, further down the picks, I mean, obviously the further down the less the talent is. So it's also something we have to keep in mind. We have a lot of picks, but what actually ends out working out for you. Tortilla says trade Highsmith. I don't want trade Muth, but I think he's on the list too. They were on go. We did get that comment. Also, let's go to Somber right here. Somber says I traded Highsmith yesterday for picks 35 and 66 in 2026. I'd take 2 seconds for Highsmith. Corey says this: don't drink that. That's why you agree to take on a third of the contract in return for a third and fifth or something. You still get something in return, and you unload the heaviest part of your contract. And finally, Tortilla Jackson says this: if Khan gets 2 seconds, I take back everything Cody said. Everything Cody said about him.
I take back everything Cody said.
Mike, why don't we tell everybody about the website?
Check it out, everyone. The 2dumyinzers.com. Not only are my dumb thoughts on there for the blog, like my mainly my mock draft Mondays, but my God, we got news sections up there. We got the NFL news and the NFL draft, 2 sections on there. RB has been pumping out
Yeah.
new articles daily for us over there. So check it out at the2dumyinzers.com. Man, there's a lot of good stuff happening over there, man. It is rocking and rolling.
It really is a lot of new, a lot of work, a lot of new stuff. The guys are doing great work. As a matter of fact, we've assembled the draft team. It is RB. These guys know from the board, and then also a man named Chop. Doing a great job. And again, we're going to get them guys introduced to the screen time real soon. And they are already actively working on the website. As Mike said, go check out the website. A lot of cool stuff, articles, mock drafts, things like this. Go check it out. www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. All right, let's get into the question of the day, guys. Mike, this is a question about draft day. Again, only 50 days away till the draft. This is a draft question. Put on your thinking caps, everybody at home, everybody on the board. Here we go. This is the question of the day. What year did the NFL start using the compensatory picks?
Ooh.
What year did the NFL start using the compensatory picks? Take a minute to think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every day right here on the tube.
On tube.
Question of the day. What year did the NFL start using compensatory picks? Throw your guesses up on the board. Maybe you might know it. Maybe you don't know it. If you don't, throw your guesses up. We'll see how close we get, guys. The question of the day is what year did the NFL start using compensatory picks in the draft? Tortilla, first one to answer, Mike. He says 2019. That is his answer up on the board. What year did the NFL start using compensatory picks in the draft? Is the question, Mike. What is your thought process for this question?
They've been around for a while now. I'm trying to remember when I started seeing these extra picks come up. My God, because it threw me for a loop with the first time I saw it. I'm gonna go 2008.
2008. Is that your final answer?
The final answer.
All right, I'm locking you in. Locked in on 2008. Tortilla says 2019. Vegas is probably a year after Bill Belichick complained about something. Sounds right to me. Give it another minute or so, guys. If you think you have a guess, or if you at least just want to take a guess, throw it up on the board. Mike says 2008. Tortilla says 2019. Again, the question of the day is, what year did the NFL start using the compensatory picks in the draft? Again, 2008 is what Mike says. Give you another moment or so, throw it up on the board, and we will give the answer away in just a moment, Mike. While we were waiting, I do want to say these few things. Check out the Pitt basketball team tonight. They'll be hosting Florida State. That game is at 9 o'clock tonight. Also, the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mike, they dropped one last night to the Boston Bruins. They went to Boston, lose that game 2-1. They'll be back at it tomorrow as they host the Sabres tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And finally, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they beat a team from Columbus 10-2, Mike. I'm sorry. I don't recall what the score was, as a matter of fact, because I didn't even think they played yesterday. I got on real quick and I seen they played a Columbus team. They're back against major league teams tomorrow, Mike. They are 10-2. That's where my 10-2 is coming from. The best team in preseason baseball right now is the Yankees. Still sit at 8-2 at the moment. The Pittsburgh Pirates are 10-2. They'll be back at it tomorrow at 1 o'clock p.m. against the Cardinals. Paul Skeens throws a gem, Mike, in the 3 or 4 innings he pitched yesterday for Team USA, getting his first game pitching in there. Paul Skeens throws 4 strikeouts in 3 innings is what it was for Team USA. Nice. You got to like what they got, Mike. They got Aaron Judge. They got Bryce Harper. They got like every big name that you could think of in the majors. I think the Team USA is going to probably do well in the competition this year. Good luck to them, guys. Let's get back to the question of the day. Mike, here it is. What year did the NFL start using compensatory picks? You said 08. Tortilla says 19. Mark Malone says, shit, I think it was early, like 2005. Not a bad guess. Guys, here is the question and the answer. Here we go. What year did the NFL start using compensatory picks, guys? I'll be honest with you. Mark Malone's the closest.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to be honest with you again. That's not saying much. The year that the compensatory picks were first used in the NFL was 1994. 1994. 94.
Wow.
I didn't know it either. I did not
That's
know
insane.
it. It is insane. 1994. Here's a fact, guys. The Ravens have the most compensatory picks, guys. They have 60 of them between 1994 and 2025. Mike, the Ravens, the most compensatory picks out of any team ever.
That's insane. That's insane.
Let's see what else. I do want to say a few things before we get ready to wrap it up for today. Mike, if you are, again, getting ready for free agency, you might be getting ready to do some drinking next week. And if you do some drinking, I would recommend nothing else than going and getting yourself some Duquesne Pilsner, Mike. Duquesne Pilsner, the guys over there have been great to us. They've always been great to us, and they all, when it comes to promotion and things like that, and we'd like to do the same for them. Duquesne Pilsner now available in 6-packs and 12-packs at Giant Eagle, and also in cases wherever cases are sold. Mike, delicious beer. We always have it on tap right here at the studio, and made in Pittsburgh. And at the end of the day, Mike, it even says on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Social media. Feel free to check us out, Mike, on any of our social media. We're Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and even TikTok, guys. Swing by, hit the follow button, keep up with what the two Dum Yinzers are up to on a day-to-day basis. And finally, if you haven't had a chance yet, do hit the like button down below. Hit the like, the sub, to share, even leave a comment. It all helps on the algorithms. We appreciate it all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mike, what's your overall thoughts on today's show?
I thought it went swimmingly. I think the 2 horizontal streams is the wave of the future. No, I'll definitely get that fixed for tomorrow. No, man, there's some really good talk on here, man. Like I said,
all the free agency news. What's how's that make? Yeah, good.
I don't want Minka back. I'm leaning towards no on Kyler Murray. You could talk me into it, because I think it would be funny just to watch him run around. I'm Aaron Rodgers out. Last year was a fun experiment. To me, it should be over and done with. You go with someone else, maybe a Joe Flacco, or I don't know. It's just Aaron Rodgers out, but I think he gives us the best chance to win, and I want to see wins more than anything else. So, yeah, let's run it back with Aaron one more year.
Another one.
All right, sounds good, Mike. I do want to say also, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, everybody. I do want to say thank you, everybody on the terrible board. You guys always make the show interesting. And again, you are the lifeblood of this show. We thank everybody on the terrible board. All new names, new faces. Everybody, welcome and thank you so much. You guys rule. And finally, I want to say thank you to everybody that's at home, maybe listening on their phone, at work, in the car, at the gym, wherever you may be. Thank you too. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time, Mike, for the Thursday installment of the show. We're hitting that 920, the 920 episode tomorrow, Mike. That will leave us with just 80 short shows before we get to the 5-year 1,000 episode mark of the two Dum Yinzers. We are within tomorrow will be 80. We'll be within 80 shows till that point. A lot planned for the summer coming up, and I got some pretty awesome stuff coming up sooner than later as well, along with a lot of other stuff starting to get sprinkled into place that we had been working on over the break and since then. So we hope everybody sticks around and continues with us, because this ride does go 365 days a year. Building up, guys, we do have next Monday, the tampering period. Next Wednesday, free agency. In 50 days, we have the draft. Aaron Rodgers decision, Mike. And then after the draft, you have rookie camps. So much stuff going on, and even all the way up into preseason, where we're going to try to see our rookie quarterback from last year play, guys. There's so much stuff in this offseason that's going to go down, along with the new coaching staff. You're not going to want to miss a moment of it. We sure will not. We'll be here for all of it, guys. We hope everybody stays with us. We'll be back tomorrow again to do our thing all over again. We hope to see everybody then. Mike, one more time, anything before we wrap it up for today?
No, man. I can't wait for tomorrow to do this all over again, man. But it's the best part of my day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me grab Vegas real quick before we do take off. He says, I saw Dan Marino in a commercial talking about coming back. Why not give him a try at this point? Maybe it'll go as well as things went for Indianapolis and Phillip Rivers. Mike, anything else?
I got nothing, everyone, man. This was so much fun. You guys are, like I said, man, you guys really are the best part of my day, especially after work, coming home, getting ready for the show, doing all this stuff, man. You guys are a blast. Everyone's cool except for Tortilla.
Except for Tortilla.
Tortilla's just on the shit list today.
Well, Tortilla, he just grabs up all the game balls. I can't imagine
He
how many
does
game
too.
balls.
He's a selfish player.
I like it.
And he doesn't spread the ball around a lot. He's like a high volume shooter. That's how he got that one swish.
I just don't want to say this. Enjoy your hump day.
Hump day.
No, I said hump everything. What? Too much.
That's because it only comes around once a week. Enjoy your hump day. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it if you can. We'll be back tomorrow, Mike, as our regular time. I want to thank everybody on the board, everybody at home, everybody. Thank you so much. Last time, speak now, forever hold your peace, Mike. All right. So for Finch, for Derpy, for RB, for Chop, for Mike, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great hump day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.